Good day, and welcome to Far Reaches. We are four people from similar parts of the world who have wound up chasing different dreams and living different lives. We are Richard, Raleigh, Joel, and Micah. Richard and Micah are from Southeast Oregon, from two small ranching communities known as Pine Creek and Plush. Raleigh and Joel are from Northeast Oregon, from the Pendleton area. We met through college, mutual friends, and heard of stories of each other. Somehow wound up being at the same place at the same time. See, we live and work in different parts of the U.S. now and have all taken different paths to get to where we are. We all talk separately and live far apart. So we decided we should try and talk more together. We hope you come along and enjoy. Hey, how your mom and them? Welcome to the Far Reaches podcast. I'm the hostess with the mostest, Micah. Joining me this evening, Mr. Bradbury. Raleigh's the Swather Man, and our special guest, the Queen of Lake County, Miss Missy Hammack. Missy, good day. Welcome everybody to Far Reaches. How y'all doing?
Delightful.
Wow.
Well, I'm like 50
Good.
beers in, so things are going pretty well. No,
Perfect.
not
Yeah. 50. Who's counting? Yeah, like it's 10 5 times.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not counting. Yeah, I went through.
You lose count. That's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, it's overrated anyway. So, I mean, if you can't once past 10, who cares?
How many acres is Raleigh in?
He's in a fair size. I can't tell from the size of the circle. My scope is off from that. Yeah. So, and we got Joel coming in hot too. I can't find my mouse. That's a personal problem. So here comes Mr. Joel as well. Missy, your box is going to get smaller. Here we go. Mr. Joel, good day.
Oh, perfect.
He's coming. He's connecting to audio. Greetings and salutations.
Well, Joel, the question of the week is, did you get pickup toilet paper yet?
No, I don't buy toilet paper.
Are we going through another pandemic?
No. Last week, Joel was without shit paper alongside the road. So we were just giving him some tips and pointers.
Like some socks and some shirt pockets.
Socks, shirt pockets, tails. Yeah. So we're like, just always put it in a Ziploc, put it in your pickup. Rule number one. So welcome to the Far Reaches podcast, brought to you by our really good friends at B&K Auto Salvage in the beautiful Grand Ronde Valley. That's Baker City and LeGrand. So stop by, use promo code REACHER, and get a little discount if you're getting some parts pulled, or if you want to pull them yourself. They're all right with you coming in and pulling it yourself. Unlike what I did a few weeks ago, and I can't go back to that store, but that's another story altogether. And if you're getting scrap, you're going to get a little bump in your prices. So tell them Reacher sent you, and we couldn't do without our good friends at B&K. And so welcome everybody again. We have a full house for Christ's sake. We got all four Reachers and special guestess, the Queen of Lake County, Missy Hammack. So as always, we're going to start off with our favorite part of the whole podcast. That's called the Reach Around, where we go around and talk about our little updates for the week. And so, Missy, as our special guestess, I think you should lead off the Reach Around.
Well, I was wondering if it was going to get weird, but
that ship sailed a long time ago. Yeah, you didn't know it was a high school reunion, so I'm sorry. Yeah,
but here we are.
Well,
I mean. Oh, what's that? Do I hear something? What does that sound?
I think Raleigh went off mute.
Oh,
we're just happy that we're just happy that Raleigh's camera's right side up. It was upside down for a good amount of time. So
so what do you guys want to know? What I've been doing?
Yeah, just give us a little tell us about today. It sounded like it started off fun. Rawls, can you put it on mute real quick?
It started off at 3 in the morning.
Oh, you slept in. That's good.
Yeah, I slept in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but 6 o'clock your time, correct? Is that how that
correct?
Works?
Yes. Yeah, and I thought I was cool for getting up at 4:30 this morning. So yeah, that'll teach me.
Yeah. So then of course, you gotta get your coffee time, do all that good stuff, and then I just went and weaned some calves this morning before it got 7,000 degrees by 8 o'clock this morning. So that's what I did today. That's what I've been doing. Just whipping her around.
Whipping her around.
Yeah, literally that's it. That's all I do. So yeah.
And when it's 7,000 degrees, the slow calves, you barbecue later. So it's all right. Everybody wins.
Yeah, we got the air conditioning fixed in the house today, so that was pretty exciting.
Thank God. Yeah. You can see like a block of ice sitting on top of a fan just rotating back and forth.
We weren't even smart enough to do that. We just kind of just battled her out last night. It wasn't that great, but
You should have put like a dome tent
Easy
in
to
front of the
wake up.
refrigerator, just
I kept thinking about all this, this DIY stuff. I was like, why don't I put some ice in front of this air conditioner that's not working? But I didn't do it because
it requires like effort, getting up, lights.
it seemed like kind of a waste of time because
It's going to be up at 3 o'clock anyway, so why worry about
exactly.
sleep?
That's right. That's when the cool air sets in anyways, and I knew I wasn't going to get any of that. So
That is the cool part of the morning. It's about 2:45 to about 4, just before sunrise. So good timing on your part.
Yeah.
I'm curious
So that's
about
it.
that
That's
room you're in. Tell me about your paraphernalia in that room. Is this like a homage to
That's
John
just-
Wayne?
Oh yeah, we got John. Yeah, we got John Wayne back here. This is our bar. We have a bar in our house. It's our rodeo bar. So we got all these. My husband was a PRCA saddle bronc rider, so he's got a bunch of pictures and his kids rodeo, and he's got a bunch of buddies at rodeo, and we love John Wayne, and we love. Well, I love Coors Light.
Coors Light.
He loves Coors Light. So yeah, basically that's it. Yeah.
Have you ever seen John Wayne
Yeah.
try to throw a
But
baseball?
no,
No,
Yeah.
he can't.
was he not good?
It's pretty girly.
Well, because he wasn't a baseball guy.
Well,
Have you seen him walk? He walks like a girl.
He could throw a punch though. Yeah.
Well,
exactly. He walks like a woman.
he used to
Yeah.
back when he walked. Now I suppose he floats around like one, but
He just kind of
he,
He's
Yeah,
pretty
'cause
effeminate. He's a very effeminate man.
I thought that too, but I still think he's a badass. This is Mr.
Yeah.
America. Even though he walks like a girl, it's fine.
he's confident. He got that walk from Yakinaw Canuck too, guys.
Speaking of walking like a girl, I see you're drinking a White Claw, so here we go.
He's probably squatted while he drinks it. I'm just saying. Yeah. Sharp eye, Missy. For those of you who aren't watching this on YouTube or Facebook, you should make sure you do it when you get a chance. Because let me set the scene right now. We got Missy drinking Coors Light in front of this beautiful bar corner with John Wayne and rodeo back numbers and Coors Light sign. Raleigh's swathing and turning and burning. Joel's upstairs, I think. He's not down in the basement, is he? Where are you?
I'm in the bar room.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, and then Richard is in one of the mini rooms. There we go. You just moved over from the forward. So yeah, we got action and adventure and already some good interaction during the reach around between Missy and Mr. Joel. So if you get a chance, you need to check out this one on the video format if you're just driving to work perhaps, or doing a 30-minute drive somewhere and 30 minutes back just to listen to the first hour. So had to interject. So
Well, I bring that John Wayne thing up because we've had a long-standing disagreement among the reachers that I think he I don't know. I wouldn't rule out him being like having been like a closeted homosexual, which is fine.
we just disagree. Yeah.
But I think if he had lived during the modern era, I think he would have been out and proud.
And you base that on how he swatted a steer when he walked by it in McClintock. Like that's what started it, right? That was your tip off.
Set off my gaydar.
Yeah.
Well, and he always had hot bitches. Gay dudes always had hot bitches around him. I mean,
Another excellent point.
yeah.
So between the hot bitches and him slapping the horse in half in that one movie, plus the way he walked, he walked.
He took that from a stuntman. Yeah, that's a
I
famous
had a
story.
I've always had a hard time with the way he walked. I've always had a hard time with that, but I sure do like the way he talks. So I don't,
Yeah, he didn't have that.
somebody else probably wrote that though, so I don't know. I really don't know.
Even if they write it, he still has to act accordingly. So,
Well, yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
the poor guy was named Marion, for God's sake. So,
I know.
he was kind of starting off, and I know a dude
On
named
the wrong
Marion,
foot.
so I apologize for that, Marion, but you're no John Wayne, so you know that. So, yeah, it's one of the more controversial takes that Joel's had. He thinks John Wayne's gay. We disagree. Yeah,
I also disagree. I mean,
yeah,
you can have some feminine qualities and still slay,
it helps. Yeah.
It does. It does.
Maybe you can bring it out in me. Yeah, that works for well in college. That's like freshman year trials. Like, wow, and nobody else knows me here. So yeah.
Yeah.
When your two groups meet, like, okay, everybody ignore the British accent, and I might be gay. So we're gonna go to this house. Yeah, like this. That's when two circles collide in college.
I wouldn't know. I never went there, but I'm sure it was a lot of collisions.
You know, that's probably about the best way to describe college is a lot of collisions. Yeah.
Random collisions.
Oh man. Missy, you love Swamp Thing in the White House. That's all I can tell you.
Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
She'd be knocked up living in a trailer park right now.
Well, then maybe she wouldn't love it, but yeah. Maybe
Thank
she'd
goodness
be.
I did not go.
Yeah, Swamp Thing had that effect on people. It was at least it made you want to practice. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, it was. Wow. Yeah, the gal around the liquor store would just go like this.
Many family units.
Oh goodness. Yeah. Anyways, wow. Sorry about that. Yeah. So. So anything else you want to share as far as your the weekly kind of update, Miss? Besides just this morning, could you just like put quotes in there for the rest of the week? Or I did see you're out fishing a while ago. Tell us about that magnum fish that you found along the road or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looked like it was stuffed already, like from the bar. Like, hey, I'm outside and take a picture.
I actually had somebody call me today. They go, "Hey, I seen that picture that you put of that fish on Facebook," and he goes, "So did you catch it or did you eat it? Did you mount it? Was it real? What happened? Were you at the ocean?" I said, "No, it's the Williamson River, right? Where it's literally our barn. I can trot my horse right across the pasture and there it is." So we just took a little tour down the river, and my husband just got a boat, so he's all pumped. So we took it out one night, and turns out I caught the biggest fish. And the only fish, first fish, and the last fish.
Just get all that shit out of the way right away.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Might as well sell the boat because it's all done. Yeah.
I know. I told him, I'm like, I'm done fishing. I'm good. But there are a few YouTube, it's called Williamson River Monsters. The fish in there are huge. They're very, very big.
Oh, that was a ball dragger you had. How much did that weigh?
We never weighed him. He probably was 12, 13 pounds, but he was 27 inches and his girth was 7 inches. He was, yeah. I'm not talking about his wang. I said girth.
You said girth, and I was just like.
So where are you?
So you did mount him.
Are you closer to the
What's
fort?
that?
Or
We are
Big River.
so
Are you closer to the fort or just
no, we're at Modoc Point. So we are about 7 miles from the fort, 8 miles. Yeah.
Because there's the van down by the river, and you're just up from that, right?
In the van down by the river. Yes. Yep.
It's a good landmark.
You're close enough.
Yes.
You're close enough that Wampler. You're close enough. Wampler can drop by.
Oh yeah. Oh yes.
Turn the lights off.
Yes.
Everybody hide.
I see him. I see him every now and again in when we're in Chi-Town or whatever. There's some real nice places to shop here. So I see him usually outside the liquor store or those kind of nice places around here. Yeah.
You can see every store from one anyways. Like just look around. Like I see the whole town. Like there he is.
Yeah. And there's only so many places white people can go. So, and it's not because of anything other than the Indians are mean here.
She's in Chiloquin, Joel.
Chilinquin?
Chiloquin.
Is that in Oregon or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where about? I'm guessing the east side.
Yeah. Kind of between Klamath and Lakeview.
Yeah.
I thought that was only like 5 miles.
Yep.
95. 96
it's 95
miles between Lakeview and Klamath. Yeah.
You can make it there in an hour and 15 minutes if you're really ripping.
We did it faster than that. Austin and I did that in this Toyota in like, I don't know, what was it, like 52 minutes or something like that. Yeah.
See, my brother was telling me that the other day, how fast he made it from Lakeview to Cloud. I'm like, what are we? Are we still in high school, Mike?
Oh,
Stop it.
he just redid it again. Like he
Quit.
wasn't talking about back in the day. I'm not sure which is worse, like
I
back in the
know.
day or redoing it now. But Joel, that
Yeah.
was like the big thing. Like, yeah,
How
it's
fast you
Klamath
can
on
make it.
Saturday. 58 minutes. Holy shit balls. Yeah, you must have been oh
Like-
man, hit that corner around Beatty sideways, I tell you. Yeah,
Oh boy.
it
At
was like
40 years old, you should start taking the long way in the scenic route. Brag about, yeah, I wasted 2 hours on the drive. It's
I went
nice.
to Alturas and came back up that way. Yeah, like Joel, that's some of the most profound shit you said thus far. 40, you should just start taking the long way. I think, man.
You should
well
just
done.
drink and drive everywhere you go.
Well, there's
Go
that,
slow,
too.
but make sure you go slow.
Go slow, yeah.
You don't want to endanger
Yeah.
people.
Just put the flashers on, throw the beer cans out, just let it rip. Yeah. At 40, you should take the long way. And if you ever write a book, that's the title, at least in one of the chapters.
Is Richard the one writing the book? Richard is, right? Is it Richard writing the book?
No,
He's reading
no.
a shitload of them, probably. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think any of us are writing one yet, but we could be doing some interviews. You never know.
If he could be writing a book. When he writes his book.
If I didn't have cows, maybe.
Oh, well, good luck then.
That's the title of Richard's book. If I didn't have cows, maybe that would be
That'd be the
Bradbury
title.
story. Yeah. And that's just it. Like you open it up, it's like, well, duh, I told you if I didn't have cows, sucker.
And then then it also turns out to be family history. Well, if we didn't have cows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you branded some calves today, or weaned, I mean, and
Weaned,
got a big ass
yes.
fish. Yeah. So that's a pretty good
And
little
my week's been pretty good so far.
and it's only Tuesday. Yeah. I had to think for a minute.
Feels like Friday, but yeah.
It does. It feels like Monday part 7. Yeah. Congratulations. Mr. Joel,
Yes.
you ready for your reach around? What's going on there, big sir?
Sure. Yeah, we had a fun weekend. Went DP at his bachelor party. We went golfing. I had a huge bet with Junior that started out at $20.
Probably just ballooned.
Over under 98. And he set it. He set the over under. And it kind of pissed me off. I'm like, I bet you I'll beat that. And it was gonna be like 110, 112 that day. So I knew that might be an issue. But I was confident that if I tried, I could beat 98. He talked so much shit, so that ballooned up to 40, and I was like, no, let's just make it even 50. And then
Off at the turn, yeah.
And then it went from that, and then another bet that we'd do a head straight up, heads up. Head, is that the right thing? Yeah, me against him.
Oh, you guys are playing teams and heads up?
Yeah, based on our handicap.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, okay, yeah, I gotcha.
And then I think we got drunk and he was talking more trash, so we doubled it to 100 for each of those.
Sure.
So I was I was responsible, little boy, for
First
bachelor
few
party
holes.
golf. I didn't have anything to drink until the back nine. I had a white claw.
Well, then you didn't have anything to drink anyways, so yeah.
But yeah, I
cheater.
shot a 90. I shot a 90 for a net 69. Nice.
Yeah.
And he shot a 73. So
Ouch.
yeah, so he paid me $200.
There you go.
And then after the golf, we came back here and had some barbecue and played Lou. You know the game Lou?
Yeah, like Skip.
It's a game where you have like 3 piles of dollars in the middle. Everybody
Yeah.
puts in $1 and you get 3 cards, and then there's a kitty. You know that game?
I think
Well-
is it like Guts?
I don't know. I don't know those games. I know Lou.
Okay,
I
well,
just learned
dollar
Lou.
is at high. Yeah.
We got up to the point where there was like over $200.
Okay, it sounds like
in
Guts
each
then.
pile.
Yeah. So like you got 3 cards, and if you want to stay in and think you got the highest, you hang on to and everybody else drops. Is that what you do?
Well, it's a trick game. You got to win at least one of the tricks.
Oh, okay.
At one
Ours
point,
is just good for drinking.
At one point, I was letting loose after we stopped golfing, and I was probably had a little too much to drink, and I was playing every hand. I was down like $800, and then we combined tables after a few people left, and another set of pile got up to about $200 a pile, and I won 2 of those, and Junior lost 3 of them. So I about broke even. I think I lost maybe a couple $100, but it was a good time. It was worth
fun.
it.
That's the main thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then what else did I do? Been working a lot, and my work is starting to pile up.
Son of a bitch, getting away with everything else.
Yeah, I've been like admittedly very lazy at work because I just haven't had that much to do, and it took a little bit to kind of get back into it. I got a little talking to.
Oh, really? You had to
So
go
I'm
talk
like,
to the
that's
principal.
good. That's good. That's happened to me before. That happened to me early in my career, and it's like a nice little kick in the ass that I need to step it up and recommit myself to my job. So today was really nice. I went down to Brian's office and worked from down at PGG.
Oh, cool.
And first time I've worked in an office in a year and a half. It was nice. Yeah, it was good.
It's kind of nice, isn't it? Yeah.
And I got a lot done. Like I started work this morning at like 6:30, and then
6:30 your time?
yeah.
Wow.
And then I shut it down at 5. So that's
Cool.
like working 9:30 to 8. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's affirmative. That'll work. Badass.
That's New York hours there, son.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's Wall Street time.
I'm staying on New York hours, and then also back in my early days when I was working like as an analyst, associate, assistant vice president. Back in those days, I worked.
You worked a lot, didn't you?
60-hour weeks often, which probably doesn't sound a lot to Richard and probably. But
Missy's like, that was yesterday. Anyways.
my fingertips would start hurting a lot from typing.
Oh, from all that keyboard and an occasional paper cut or something if somebody was mean enough to
Not
hand you a
paper
piece of
cuts,
paper.
but if you pound on a key enough, because if somebody like when girls, if you're like cuddling with a girl and she'll like rub one spot just over and over, and you're like,
Goes like dead.
stop that. That hurt.
It does. Eventually it does. It's like Chinese water torture.
Yeah, and that's
What
kind of
are you thinking? Yeah, when she does like, what are you thinking? You run away. Just fucking leave. Just leave.
Yeah. So then today, me and Brian both left work at about the same time, and I took a run to the weed store and to the beer store and jumped in the pool.
It's a pretty nice little Tuesday.
Yeah.
Not bad. Huh.
I didn't. Sorry, I'll admit up front that Tuesday really snuck up on me. I did not get a chance to watch that boy from the Snowy River movie.
Now you're just being a dick. Yeah. It's okay. It's still on your fucking homework assignment though. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I still want to watch it and give you my feedback on it
because it's damn good. Yeah. I mean, you might think it's like John Wayne, but I was playing the soundtrack before. I don't know if you weren't on when I was playing the soundtrack. I was like, I'm goose bumping up and I'm like picturing shit. Yeah, I was like, it just does it.
Memories.
That was my brother Casey's first wedding song. So I remember that.
Oh yeah, it's common, and I like it. I think it's worthy. So.
Oh, Jessica's song.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah, Breaking the Colt is what it's called in parentheses. That's a good wedding song.
This sounds horrible.
Again, if you're not watching this, the look that just crossed Missy's face was just like, that was out loud.
What the fuck?
That was out loud right there. Yeah. I was like, I think I almost had her like speechless for a second. Yeah, it was even better.
You just said that.
Yeah, that was. I just looked up. I have it up on my other screen. I got the soundtrack up still, and it's like Jessica's theme, parentheses, breaking in the Colt. Yeah, so.
I was always like, that bitch has got a big forehead.
Yes. You could put her next to the campfire and it would just radiate off. It would be awesome. Yeah. She did.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like the black hair and the pale skin, that really emphasized the 5'8" for sure.
But she had nice blue eyes.
It was sort of mean of her to be that hot that way. Yeah, she was kind of winchy, but yeah, anyways,
she was.
It's but I think he broke the Colt in, you know what I'm talking about. So.
Oh yeah. He broke the Philly, not the Colts.
It was a long winter for poor Jim. Yeah.
This would be a good wedding song. I was just listening to this the other day.
Were you just listening to wedding songs or something you want to tell us?
Yeah, the song is on.
Stand By Me. Nice.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
Speaking of.
It is.
That is probably one of my favorites.
I got the comb. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
That was great. That was reminding me of an old joke with poor Jim too. We'll tell it later. But Richard, give us the reach around, honey.
Don't be shy. Come on, Richard.
He's building up to it. He's like,
We had a great weekend. Branded 2 sets of calves, and it was real fun. 37 one day and then 84 the next day. Just a good bunch of people, and
A few of my pals were there.
Yeah, I'm sort of sad to tell my reach out. I should have called you.
Oh, it's all right.
My truck driver did call me and says, "What the hell? I'm good enough to haul your cattle there, but not to come rope them. Don't call."
No.
I'm like, well, I wasn't going to say it out loud, but since you brought it up, yeah, you're not a very good truck driver either. But anyways.
Yeah.
Anyways.
The check's in the mail.
Yeah. I'm writing down your address now. Yeah.
So, yeah, got a lot of go for that. But so that last week was pretty much just sorting cattle and getting ready to brand them, and then at least the new pasture here in Lakeview that is about as close to town as I'd ever want to be. And for some reason, those cattle have found every possible way to get out of that field that they can. So they're probably escaping as we speak. So
Naturally.
Is that
you branded, right?
the cattle you just branded that out there at Open A?
Yeah, but then I have those ones in they're close to the solar farm at Gary's.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I got the stuff all behind the solar farm by the industrial park.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Oh, okay.
What?
That's by Rubber Road, isn't it?
Yes, it is, right? Rubber Road runs right through it actually now.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
A rubber
Rubber
road runs
road.
through it.
What a road, huh? That memories.
Memories. I hadn't thought about that
Memories.
forever till you said we're
Me
done. Like,
either.
Rubber Road.
Rubber Road's not even there anymore, though.
What? That's sacrilege.
Yeah, I know.
God, and they repaved Peanut Butter Street too. So sons of bitches.
I know.
Sorry, Richard. I got
Sort of
carried
there.
away. If you could just
It's sort of,
visualize it,
yeah.
it's like the Oregon
Yes.
Trail. Kids gather around. I want to tell you a story about what happened, like on
Exactly.
this road here. Yeah. Richard's crying right now. It looks like
I did
he's
have
crying.
my first. I did have my first interesting experience in the drought and the rush for pasture. Friday last week or Saturday, somebody called me and goes, "What are your cattle doing in my field?" I was like, "Well, I'm sorry, they've been escaping a lot." He goes, "Yeah, I got the field leased next to the solar panel." He goes, "And you've had your cattle in there for 2 days." I'm like, "No, I have that leased."
But thank you.
And,
But thank you.
I thank you both for leasing that from me, by the way. So
So I think it came down to he went through all the proper channels and talked to all the right people and filled all the right paperwork out. And I just called the guy that owned it and sent him $3,000 and put my cattle in first. So I think it's mine.
I would say.
this is some shit that's going to be in a history book sometime about Lake County range wars again, like part 2, like you know, the solar array.
So
I think
I'm
it's
sure
fine.
the guy was working. I feel sorry for the poor guy. I'm sure he. Yeah, I just feel bad, and it's sort of the situation of what we're in right now with the drought and everything. So, Yeah, I just told him, hope we get it figured out, but I'm not moving my cows.
Possession is kind of 9/10 of the law. Yeah. So
It's a great answer. It's very
Yeah.
that was very kind. That was very nice.
Does he has his cows in there too?
No, I have 150 cows in there, or 115 cows in there, and he was going to put 13 in. So.
Oh, well, you should get out then.
it's subleased to him. Yeah. He was going to pay for it all anyway. So.
I feel bad. Well, I don't want to get into it because I don't want to. I'm sure the guy's a perfectly good manager, really good guy. So yeah, but it was a first. I have never leased pasture and have somebody else lease it at the same time. So
that's almost as bad as the hotel room and somebody else.
The best part was he goes, I fixed that whole thing.
You what?
Oh yeah, I've done that.
Many a time. Oh shit. Wait a minute. This is my room too. Yeah. Everybody's surprised. But everybody gets a free room usually, so it's kind of good. He said he went around and fixed all the fence. Is that what you said?
The best part of the that's the best part of the cover text that he sent me a text. He goes, didn't you see all the new fence and the post holes at the end? And I was like, well, hey, I thought the new post at the end was just the power company getting off their ass and finally fixing it. And I sent my cousin around it a couple days ago, and he put 50 new steel posts in. So I guess we didn't see the ones that you put in.
Turns out, yeah. Zing. Yeah.
So, anyways.
How's that taste? Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Ben's a good candidate.
Turns out.
That's my reach around for the week.
What happened?
That's a pretty good one.
Yeah.
What happened with the dog that got sprayed by the skunk?
He's laying outside. He doesn't smell any better. We've washed him a couple times.
Poor guy.
Hey, is that old lady still coming over and mowing your lawn? That's what I want to know.
No, she's not. I actually mowed my own lawn.
What the hell?
I haven't mowed a lawn in a long time.
Yeah, you used to hire other kids.
That's when you're like, I'm not even going to say that number out loud. I'm just going to say a long time.
It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah.
I figured it out. I got the lawnmower to work and remembered how to push it around the lawn. So
can we see your hands? Let's see all the fingers. Let's give us a count. Everybody there? Okay, that's good. Woo. Yeah, wait. Hi. Yeah.
So are you living on H Street, the old party house?
Yeah, that's how my mom likes it referred to.
I bet she does. She never knew it happened. Never, ever, not one time.
Oh no.
No.
Probably has a spreadsheet somewhere. Yeah.
The most uncomfortable dinner ever, sitting at the dining room table, and my mom's eyes go up and look at the chandelier that has a beer in it. The house is polished clean, and we cleaned everything and missed the beer that was in the chandelier above the dinner table. So yeah, the cat was out of the.
Well, who would think to look there?
Yeah.
If I was there, I'd take the blame for that one, but I wasn't. I don't think so. But that's something I would do for sure. I was that guy. Yeah. Often.
The parties that we got away with in this house, considering it's directly downtown, is absolutely amazing.
It is astounding. It is.
And like no stealth at all. Like full out, basically minors drinking on the lawn in the front. I don't know how.
They were like Dick and Mary. They're such great people. They would never party at their house. Their kids are saints.
The yard's all stampled down, so you don't have to mow it anyways. It's all
party at Bradbury's all the time. Yeah.
And then there was the college years, just kept getting better. Yeah. To be sure. Raleigh, if you can hear us, blink twice. Do you have a reach around for us? For those of you that are watching. There's Rawls. He stopped waiting. Raleigh's swathing right now. Balls, how you doing, man?
Good. I'll turn it down so you can hear me.
Kinky.
Just been haying, obviously. Probably the most exciting news is we found out that we're having a little boy this fall, so that's pretty cool. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was gonna say, hold it just a little closer. That'd be better. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, we found out we're having a little boy this fall, so that's been exciting news, and kind of can plan on the color of blue instead of pink. So, let's see. Not a whole lot other than it's hotter than hell, and the guy needs a lot of Gold Bond right now. So
I bet so. Yeah.
Yeah, why aren't you wearing shorts? Put on a pair of shorts when you're out doing that.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah.
No, the world really doesn't need to see that shit.
That would be. You think Missy's legs are white? Raleigh makes mayonnaise look tan. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did Erica call you? Powder Bigsby? Yeah. That's,
Yes.
Powder.
Yeah.
Yep.
Planes would be
No,
baking
you
in,
can put-
trying to land. Yeah, it would be
You
awful.
can put your shorts on and get a nice tan, and then you can wear shorts for the rest of the summer.
Yeah, the tanning's the issue. It doesn't tan.
No.
Your legs are
does-
frozen.
They are. Yeah, it's full Irish. Yeah.
A little too much Irish there.
Plus, if you got to get out and unplug your swather because you hit a dead chicken or something, that really sucks if you're wearing shorts.
Shorts in general just don't go well with the hang process.
No. Yeah.
No, as far as other information on a reach around, I really don't have a whole lot to offer. Just kind of going 24
That's the word
hours
around the
a day.
campfire.
What's that?
I said you don't have a lot to offer. That's word around the campfire, but we don't judge, so it's
Well,
okay.
you know, some things never change. So
I got a question, Raleigh. Is it?
Yeah.
It's probably really hot up there too, right?
for up here, yeah, I think we had 101 today, which
Oh, damn. Yeah.
I mean, if we get 90 ever, that's a big deal. So I think last
That's
year
us too.
we only got in the high 80s last year, and so it was a fun day to be in a 1048 Super Harrow bed all afternoon picking up hay.
Ain't nothing super about that. Yeah.
No, that was a miserable hot thing. It's nice to be in the air conditioning cab.
Oh, yeah. If
Does
you
that
stand up
heat
too fast,
affect-
go ahead, Joel.
Does that amount of heat affect does it ruin your grass and particularly about the cows? Like, what kind of temperature can a cow withstand standing out there in the middle of a field?
I don't know that they'll go find a cool spot in a water hole to hang out in. A lot of times you go to the water ponds up here, and when it's hot like this, they'll all be standing out in the water. So they can figure it out. They don't need a human to help them. So yeah, and as far as the hay goes, it just helps it dry faster. So as long as you've got irrigation to keep it green and growing in this heat, then you're fine.
Once you swath it, you just don't have to wait as long to bale.
Yeah, the dry time. A lot of times we're 5-6 days waiting on a dry time, and we're on 4 days right now. So things are going a little faster, which is nice. I guess
That's
there
what
is
she
that
said.
dry dog.
That's what she says. Got it.
Between that and dry time, I could not resist anymore. I was afraid my lip was going to start bleeding from biting it. And so self-induced.
How much more hay you got, Rawls?
I don't know. I'm just finishing the grass hay, laying it down now, and I've got about 80 acres on the ground of that, and then I've got about 60 acres of some grain hay left to do on the first cutting, and then we'll start all over here about the end of July, 1st August, and start putting the second down. So it's kind of just the 60 days of haying right now.
Rinse, lather, repeat. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
You
Maybe
get 2 cuttings
get
out of your
What's that?
you get 2 cuttings out of your grass hay?
Yeah, I'll get 2 out of the grass. As soon as I get this off the field, I'll come in and fertilize and put the water right back on it. I'll get ton and a half on the second, but it makes really nice horse hay. So
Beauty.
Yeah. So that's kind of the word on the street here. Nothing else happening.
I'm glad you got a cab on your swather. And when you're driving your hairbed and you get done and you step up, be careful because your balls are stuck to your leg. They might tear. So you should be slow about that. Yeah.
Yeah, my wife complains
realize
about all my jeans that the crotch rips out of from riding, and those are my summer jeans. So it's
Yeah, those are good.
Yeah. Air conditioning.
Summer here, summer there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dual purpose.
Dual purpose,
Yeah.
dual exhaust. Yeah.
Yeah. The wintertime, they're not.
You realize there's very few people alive that didn't have cabs.
Yeah, that's true. I used to drive an old piece of shit Heston with like a piece of tin next to the engine because it blow the heat on me. Yeah. With the sticks.
The two handles.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. When I went to work with a swather with a cab, they couldn't hardly peel me out of that thing. Yeah. That's hilarious.
It's nice having some air conditioning, that's for sure.
Harumph, yeah.
Do you like listen to a podcast or something in there when you're not on our podcast?
Portuguese.
If I had my earbuds, I would, but it's too noisy in here to really listen very well to your phone. So I usually turn the radio up as loud as I can get it. Try to listen to something. Otherwise, I sit here and talk to myself.
Yeah.
It seems healthy.
Yeah, it's good therapy.
What,
I used to sing like 19 songs in a row and just blend them all together. So yeah.
Yeah. Nobody is getting smarter after that conversation.
That's why I know most of the country songs from the 90s.
Yes.
90s now.
Yeah, because you're listening to KCNO Alturas, and that's all you can get. So.
Oh man, yeah, that was a great station though.
It was power.
Because that's all you got.
That's all you got. So it was the best damn station. Yes.
The music of your grandmother.
Cranked up loud, like Lawrence Welkin won it. Yeah. Anything else for your reaching there, Balls?
No, I was kind of curious what you've been reaching on.
Well, not a gentleman never kisses and tells, but one thing I set up, it took me about 25 minutes, was to get it exactly perfect with my pillows centered with me and my curtains so I could drive Richard apeshit. I just started laughing when I did it, but it's like
you did a pretty good job though.
It's like, yeah, I'm pretty impressed. It nailed it. So yeah, that's one of my high points of the week was finding some Oregon State pillows I had in storage. Those aren't pillows. And put them in my office right behind me. So, because my just how square it is all the way around, just kind of drives Richard nuts. So I care. Yeah, that's part of it. A good thing today. Go ahead. What's that?
The beavers aren't symmetrical. They're both facing the same way.
They are. I had a special order in.
Beavers usually aren't symmetrical. I mean,
Thank you. That's why we have you as a special guest this week. Joining us is a beaver expert, Missy. Welcome to All Things Beaver. I'm your host.
Beavers are marsupial. I think they are.
I don't think so. Doesn't that mean they have a pouch?
Yeah, don't they have a pouch?
I don't have a pouch.
No. They have a big old tail that they flap on the water.
Oh, they flap that tail all over. Yeah. And they chew on wood.
Or is it like otters? I think sea otters might have pockets.
No, they lay on their back and eat clams and shit.
Yeah, but they have pockets. They've stuff shit in there. Not literally, but they put food in their pocket.
Gosh, is on or something.
Yeah, like a fanny pack.
Yeah, exactly.
You're thinking of kangaroos.
Ruse.
No,
yeah, there's
no.
like a
They're exactly like sea otters. They're the same
close,
thing.
really close.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
There's not that many marsupials in the world, I don't think.
Brian walked in on me right then and he said,
not the first time you said that.
With a goddamn otter.
Yeah. I thought he was going to do the Bob and Tom flashback about Christopher Walken. Frankenstein never scared me. Yeah. Marsupials do because they're fast. Yeah. That's what I was hoping for. Damn it, Big Daddy, you let us down. I was gonna say, I've just been just working around the house. Got my new outdoor cooking setup all set up yesterday evening, actually, and ninja'd on a tri-tip that turned out people have either found religion or tossed it away after having this. And so brought it to work today for some of the gang. My boss is always giving me shit. He's from Brazil. And the head of bioinformatics is also from Brazil. And they're like, you're always talking about this. You never bring anything in. I was like, all right, smart asses. So I got in pretty early this morning and brought it in, sent him a message like 6:45. I'm like, hey, I've got tri-tip in my fridge. Swing by when you can. And so the one guy got in at like 8:45, like 8:46. He's like, ooh, tri-tip. So he had some. He's like, oh, this is really good. So all day goes long. And my CEO, he's in meetings and this and that and the other. And the key account manager, we don't really know each other yet. We've just kind of been in the office a little bit, and we just don't click. Like we're like a half a gear off all the time. Like I'll do something that's like she doesn't understand or vice versa. So we're always just like not meshing. So today she comes in for a meeting and she's like, man, I'm so tired and hungry. I'm doing this keto thing and I'm fasting and this and that. And I'm like, when's the last time you ate? She's like, I had a piece of chocolate at like 9. I'm like, and it's like,
yeah, that's really keto-y.
Yeah. I was like, okay, it's 3:30 in the afternoon. I'm like, you should probably have something. She's like, I'm doing like this extended fast. I'm like, that's extended. I'm like, look, this sounds really weird. I've got sliced tri-tip in the refrigerator I made last night. She's like, yeah, but I'm keto. And I'm like, this would be perfect. It's akaushi. You're going to like it. I think you should try it. She's like, I don't know. So I'm like, well, let me just, I got napkins. Here you go. So I pull out my Ziploc. It's probably 1/2 to 3/4 of a pound. Like there's 6 or 7 good slices of tri-tip in this bag. So she takes a little bite of one. She's like, oh my God, what is this? I'm like, it's tri-tip. And she's like, so she horks it down and she's sitting there and then she just like reaches over across to my desk and grabs the whole bag and just like sits back. She goes, you're not eating the rest of this, are you? I'm like, no. So she's pulling it out like 2 slices at a time and like it's eating it like it's New York pizza. And I'm just dying because she's just flipping out. Of all times, my CEO comes by and he's like, hey, and he looks and she's like dangling like the last piece in her mouth like a seagull eating a fish. And he's like, any more of that? And I'm like, we'll have some tomorrow. He's like, okay then. Bottom line though, like now after that meeting, we got everything figured out. She sent me like several messages. Hey, I took care of this for you. Don't forget, I'll be gone these 2 days. If you need anything, blah, blah, blah. So my point being, like a good piece of tri-tip, like turned her world around. We are now meshing. We have bonded at work, all is well. And it was funny just to see her turn into a human right in front of my eyes and like literally horking down meat like she'd been on an island for like 7 years. So yeah, it was pretty impressive. It was quite entertaining. And, you know, those little magic moments when you just like click with somebody at work. So
I was just worried about, you know, when those gals on Bridesmaids, that movie, when they went to the Brazilian, because we're talking about that. That's how your meat ends up.
No, don't look at me. Yeah.
Look away.
Hey, yeah. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah. When I walked out, she was in the middle of the hallway, hunkered down. I didn't know what was going on. So yeah. Are you talking trash about my meat?
Why wouldn't I?
I know. Yeah. Anyways, that ship sailed. But yeah. So that was super fun. It's been like 75 and 80 all week, and like rains for a couple hours, and then sunshine. So I'm sorry to everybody else. It's hot and
we're in a drought.
Shitty, but yeah, sorry. So there's going to be a point this year sometime when it really sucks worse to be here in Florida than anywhere else. But
as the world turns,
so far, not yet. Yeah. So, and speaking of which, I am in the midst of building an outdoor shower as well for those sort of days. So you can just, if you're working outside and it's all nasty and you maybe want to go get in the pool, or you still want to like take anything in the house, you just jump in the outdoor shower and then saunter into the house. So yeah, that should be done. It won't be done this week because I'm going to Texas on Friday morning. I leave for Texas, but I'll be back Tuesday, I think. But yeah, it'll be done in the next couple of weeks. So it should be kind of fun.
So like for me to go?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Is it like set it up with pipes, or do you like have a bucket up there with some holes in it?
We're going to pipe it in. We're going to pipe it. Like 2 options. I'm going to pipe it, or I have a huge rain barrel that I might set next to it, and then it'll get hot and also be full of rain and water, and then I might just pump it in. But I think the first option is just pipe it over from the irrigation line, and it'll be refreshing. Yeah.
You should get an old bathtub and put a bathtub under it. And then you could.
I don't take baths in the house. I probably wouldn't do it outside either. Yeah. So it's just going to be.
But it would give other people the impression that you like to take a bath out there.
That would
That
be
alone
worth it.
would make me laugh.
The neighbors would love it.
Maybe I'll just put an old bathtub in the front yard with a pair of underwear hanging off it or something. But yeah, the back is.
Put in with your culture in Florida there, probably.
It'd probably be elected mayor before I knew what happened. Yeah, it's possible. Now the whole point is part of it. It's like it's going to be an 8-foot fence, and then it's going to loop around and have like one of those. It's kind of a walk-in around the corner thing. So the other neighbors, they've seen it all already, anyways. But I'm not going to give away for free every week. So yeah, should be nice though. Nice little refresher, because oftentimes when you're working outside here, it does get a little. If it's 85 or 90 and 75% humidity, you're going to sweat. Yeah. And so it happens. So I think outdoor shower would be nice. So that's my side project besides my barbecue area, but they're all tied together. So everybody's happy. Other than that, yeah. Oh, I get a part of my outdoor cooking areas. I scored like an old truck rim from my buddy north of town. It weighs like 200 pounds and it's like 1.5 inches thick. So that's like the base of my fire ring that I build my fire for all my cooking on top of. So
1.5 inches of girth.
Yes, it's not quite the 7-inch girth that Missy
My
was
fish had.
describing earlier. Yes, my fish had. But 1.5 inches will do the trick. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it holds the heat. Just so you know. Yeah. So that's what it's all about. So outstanding. And on that high note, that was a pretty good reach around. I think a 5-person reach around. We haven't done one of those in quite a while, I think. So that's good. We get a little variety. Of course, Raleigh's on his action phone too often. And so again, it's great to have all the reachers in one place. I don't think we've all been on the same podcast in a few. So it's good to have. Plus the extra. Missy, you brought us all together. You were the center of the reachers activity. Yeah. So way to go. That brings us to our very next segment, and one we've been looking forward to for a couple of weeks. And I think one of the reasons, and of course, Misty was always welcome, but one of the reasons in particular she chose this week to join us, because I think this is our very first sort of voice of the people entertainment spotlight. Anybody else think of another time when we just did a movie that everybody was clamoring for, and it turned out to be The Man from Snowy River? Is the movie we're talking about. Was it 81 or 82? Good grief. I feel extra old now. It's been a long time ago.
Although I will say I did love the Caddyshack one too that you guys did, because could you not love Caddyshack? I mean, that's
so kind. Yeah, I think that's one of the all-time greats. If you play golf or not, you still love Caddyshack.
Yeah.
It's 1982, Man from Snowy River. Everybody knows the song. When you hear it, everybody knows, like, he's a man from Snowy River. Like, all these moments, I still get goosebumps when I just think about the movie. I don't know if anybody actually watched it like recently, like we normally do, because we're all like, I know that freaking movie. But Missy, what's your favorite part about this movie?
Oh, I'll tell you, probably the part that actually ever really got me is when he went down the mountain on Denny. And then he gets shot in the neck, and oh my gosh, yeah, that is something it'll stick with me always. That is probably
If you don't get goosebumps when he comes roaring off there, and you got,
and then he got
the horn and and it's slow motion, and like if it was HD or better, it would just be full on, mega.
Yeah. And then he's got to unsaddle him, and then he gets what did he call the other horse? I don't even remember now.
Brumbies?
But yeah, one of the Brumbies. Yeah. It was awesome. It was awesome. But so I didn't name her. Her name was already Jessica, because it was a Palomino mare. So our barn has where we work has a name theme with all horses. So Like this mare's mom's name was Marilyn, like Marilyn Monroe, blonde. So this one was Jessica for Jessica Simpson. But my horseshoer is from Australia, and they call her Jessica, and his wife's name is Jessica. And Jessica was the man from Snowy River. That was the
Jess,
the vixen we were talking about. And
little temptress.
Yeah, and I last summer I go, hey, I said, you watched The Man from Snowy River, because he's from Australia, and he goes, my dad's won that race twice. I go, what? And he goes, that's a real race. And I said, no way. And he goes, no, it's a real race. He goes, and his dad has won it twice. And so if you look it up, it is a real race. I mean, that's real deal. Like that part of it's not fiction. It was pretty interesting. It's
oh, but yeah, I didn't know that at all.
Yeah. No, it's not a fake race. I mean, I'm sure not every time they go run around and they get the love of their life. Every time they go around, they don't get old Jessica.
There'd be a lot of people entered up in that one. Yeah, people bringing it back from the year before, like, yeah, that was wrong. Yeah. Can I bring this trophy back? Keep this trophy. Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
There was only one Jennifer and a whole lot of dudes.
Jessica.
Richard.
Same thing though. It starts with a J.
That was made so much better because it was sort of like muffled, like he was like under the closet or the couch cushion. Like there was only one Jessica, and then like he's back. Like, what the hell? Damn it, Bobby! Yeah, that was awesome. For those of you who are watching this, you notice that Richard's video is gone, and so he's having some internet difficulty. Yeah,
he said Jennifer, not Jessica.
Yeah, there was only one Jennifer. A bunch of them guys.
Oh yeah, he's getting that. Your odds aren't very good.
Well, we were laughing because her name's Jessica too, and then yes, that was the whole point of the movie. Like, she said like
she was
him,
the prize
he's for her. Yeah, so
yep.
Because he's just a mountain man. Yeah, what the cheesy mountain man. So I think my favorite part was when they were hanging around the bunkhouse and they were waiting for Clancy.
Mm-hmm.
Like the big fancy, like the head Fred Clancy dude. They're bringing in to find the stallion that got away. And they're all talking about it, and he's like, oh, and Jim's like, yeah, I know Clancy. He was made of my dad's, and they're all like, oh, you're full of shit. No way, you're just making stuff up. And then when Clancy finally shows up, he comes over and he's like, I miss your dad. He's a good mate, and everybody's kind of like, oh shit, this kid's might be legit, So I thought that was cool because he was just subtle about it, but fully dropped the hammer. And didn't have anything to do anything about it.
Clancy could have had his own damn movie. We got way too little bit of Clancy.
I agree. What? Richard, are you like standing outside? Are you in the bathroom? What are you doing?
I'm on my phone.
I know that, but it sounds like you like set it on the table in the kitchen and you're yelling from the stairs.
Well, I'm just yelling.
Well, that's okay. We're not your dogs, so take it easy.
Why don't they give this guy a better cowboy hat?
Because he's from Australia. They don't know hats.
That's an Outback hat.
Yeah, it does look like an Indiana Jones hat.
No, it's not a fedora. That's an Outback hat. Huge difference. I went to grad school with a guy from Texas, of all places, and he wore a freaking Australian Outback hat, but he could not pull it off. So we always gave him hell, and he walked into the office one day, and I'm like, you know what, Brian? Man, I think everybody needs two hats like that. And he's like, oh, really? You think so? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, one to shit on and one to cover it up with. And I thought, I kind of killed him, I think, a little bit. Brian, I apologize.
He must have needed it.
I think he did. Yeah. Because there was about 8 or 9 of us in the same office, and everybody just started laughing. A bunch of Canadians, and they're ruthless at times. And so, yeah. Then the next day, like, he walks in with no hat on. It was like, Brian, where's your hat? And he's like, I think Micah might have taken it. So it's pretty funny.
You're like, yeah, I went and shit in it.
Exactly. I had an emergency. What could I do? Thanks for being there for me, buddy. Poor little bastard. Richard, are you still there? Can you hear us?
I'm still here.
Okay. Well, your phone is shit, just so you know.
I don't know why it's so bad. I'm sorry.
It's okay. That's what she said.
Yeah. Podcast guys are not.
That never gets old, by the way. That never gets old.
And that's definitely what. Yeah. Yeah. As soon as you get an iPhone, Richard, then we can all text on the same stream, and I won't feel bad about the green person I get a text from every once in a while. So, anyways, yeah.
I'll try and find some headphones, but I had a couple course, everybody likes the end scene where when he saves the day and rides the horse down the hill. But I thought that Kurt Douglas's part where he played both characters.
Oh yeah.
I think I must have watched it 3 times before I realized that he was playing both characters. It might just be because I'm slow, but I thought he did a really good job.
No, he did a tremendous job. The fact that you're slow about it is completely unrelated, but I think he did an awesome job, especially because the other guy had one leg. Spur's got one leg. So, and what is it? Wallaby stew? What you got stew? Wallaby stew, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah. And then the senior, the one that was father, was just such an asshole, and the other guy is like, it'd be hard to believe those were the same 2 people. He did an awesome job.
Yeah, Spur was great coming in there and feeling up to cooks and having a good time with the ladies, and yeah, poaching cows. I thought that was kind of funny. So, yeah, a good time.
I hate to bring up the other movie, but one of my all-time scenes from either Snowy River movies is when they're having the display with the military, and they go through the thing with the spears and the.
Oh yeah.
And he does it with the bullwhip, and they knock the rings off.
Yes,
And
that was
Mhm.
badass.
it is like some of the best writing I've ever seen in a movie. And like even the guys that he shows up were really like they were
Good.
amazing writers. But when he came and did that little thing, that was just amazing. But I really like all the musical sequences when they slow the horses down and like they're going through the snow.
Oh yeah.
Beautiful
Yeah.
movie all the way around.
Theatrical. That was it was good.
Very good
That was pretty
choreography. And like the director, like I never heard of him before, really never again. Like it was like lightning in a bottle, as they would say. He's from Scotland, is the director.
The one-hit wonder.
Yeah, he did like Matlock Police Director, Andre, like nothing you've ever heard of. Last thing he did was in 2005, Attack of the Sabretooth.
Sounds like a good one.
Yeah, topped her out there for sure. Badlands, a TV movie, not the old one. So yeah, just some random stuff, and he pulls Man from Snowy River out of his arse. Like, thank you.
Do
but
one for the studio and then one for him. So it's
Apparently.
Sabretooth for him.
yeah,
This
Sabretooth was
passion project.
that was the passion project. Thank you, Joel. Yeah.
The fact that they got Kurt Douglas had to be huge.
Yeah, because nobody else was really on the radar, so to speak. I mean, yeah, even young Jim Craig, even today, he's only got 28 acting credits to 2014. Like,
They had to have spent a little bit of money on Kirk Douglas, unless he really wanted to do it for some odd reason.
he might have just taken points or just really liked the story or something. Because yeah, you look at everybody else in that, you're like, ooh. So it was such a out of nowhere for me. Yeah, I thought it was great because I think.
All right. Morgan's here.
Oh, gotcha. We'll go silent for a minute. Rawls, you got anything to add? You stop for a second. You're patiently looking at the grasslands, the savannah.
No, I've just been listening to what you guys have been saying. And,
Well, that makes one person. Huh.
yeah, I know it's odd for this group to have anybody listen.
Yeah, exactly. Man, I get kind of goosebumps just thinking about it.
Yeah, for the era that movie came out in, and you start, if you watch a lot of westerns, they had some very good stuntmen in that, and so a lot of guys that could really ride. And I mean that was kind of what was fun to watch, because I don't know if anybody's ever sat in one of those Australian saddles before, but they're not the easiest thing to stay astride.
They are not. And if
They're-
you look at the
some of those
credits,
guys-
dude, there's like 40 crack riders and
Yeah.
mountain horsemen. Like it's like a pile of people.
And there was a lot of really talented guys in the stunt end of that movie.
Yeah, for sure.
And as far as the storyline goes, I really enjoyed. It's kind of a Rudy type of a guy that goes through life with a lot of struggles and whatnot, earns his way to get back to what was his, to be back up on the mountain. I think the storyline can grab a lot of people and draw them into the movie. And I don't know, I didn't pay attention to who wrote it or whatnot, but it was easy to follow, and fun to watch.
Some dude named Banjo was one of the writers. No, it's a great thing about, you know, you have the classic class system, you know, a mountain guy and then the big cattle guy. He goes and kind of earns his stripes, so to speak, too, and comes back for what's his, and takes it both. So I think that's kind of the cool thing too. It's not some magic key he finds or this, that, the other. He goes and busts his ass and proves his worth, so to speak, even though he doesn't have to prove it to him. He's not proving his worth to her dad. He's proving it to himself and to her, and comes back and does what's right for everybody, and ends up kicking ass just because he's good at what he does. So I think that's the cool part too.
Yeah, and I think anybody that grew up watching that movie, there's a part of it that grabs you, like Missy said, that when he comes off the mountain, or the relatability to the character having something that's real life struggle and overcoming it and succeeding is something that, and of course then they throw one of the better soundtracks of the 80s in there on top of it. The whole thing kind of catches you. I don't know. It catches a lot of people with an emotional tie, probably.
100%. I listen to it. I can picture the exact parts of the movie a lot of times when it's playing, exactly what it was, and when I hear it. And you know, we all kind of grew up in that part of the town that probably wasn't the best, and so when you did come to town, it was a little foreign to everybody. So that kind of related to me too, not being in the exact part of the place you should be, but you do what you could because you didn't know any different. I think that was part of the thing too. So it just related in a lot of different ways.
Yep. Yeah.
Joel, you have no input since you haven't seen it yet, have you?
No, as I said earlier, Tuesday snuck up on me. I intended to watch it. I'll watch it before the next one. I'll give my thoughts.
I'm really surprised that you haven't.
Looking forward to it.
I was too, Ross. Yeah, I thought it would have been like somewhere on your mandatory watch list, but
I think it was like I was a little kid and my brothers would always watch it, and I would see like a scene. I'm like, this looks stupid. I'm gonna go watch cartoons.
Is he playing with your Barbies?
Hey, we don't judge.
We don't talk about my Barbies on the show.
No, those are action figures, not dolls. Yeah, so don't take them out of the package.
They're action figures, all right.
Yeah, I never take them out of the box. Oh, sorry, action figers.
First actual everyone.
All their legs are duct tape behind their head. Yeah, it's just so wrong.
I had one more scene that really stuck with me.
Oh yeah, we need to hear it.
The logging scene where his father gets killed.
Oh man, yeah.
That's a pretty powerful scene.
Really powerful. I think we've all been close to that. So had close calls or known people that happened to, or you know, and just the fact that he was there, and that would be tough. So yeah, it hits us all pretty hard. There's no doubt about that. As we get older, it hits us even more.
Or also for a girl, from their standpoint of view, when he wins that race on that Brumby. I mean,
wow, yeah, clean up on aisle one.
I mean, exactly. Thank you, Lady Boner.
I now dub the Lady Boner of the chai. Yeah. Oh, greetings, Lynn. I called her the Queen of Lake County. I think Lady Boner is much more appropriate.
I think that it's also one of the movies where you'll always remember the horse, like in The Searchers. You'll always remember that big sorrow horse that John Wayne rode, and that black horse that Yul Brynner rode in Magnificent.
Yeah.
And then
the Hell Bitch.
The Hell Bitch. Yes.
That is the one. Yeah.
Ranking movie horses, Hell Bitch has to be top, I think, in my mind.
Has to.
Just because.
I think
ranking number one though is Lonesome Dove in my books.
In general, just as far as movie wise.
Always. Yep. That's not gonna get beat.
Some of our top 3 horses of all time.
Gotcha.
We haven't done a list for a while.
We have not. That's a good point.
The buckskin, that's the first and only buckskin that's ever really been a movie star, I think.
Yes. And amongst good company as well.
I got a little teary-eyed when you had to shoot her.
Quiet you. Yeah.
So many spoilers.
I know. Why are you bringing us down with shooting horses right now, Richard?
Dick.
Yeah, Dick.
No, I mean, you are a dick. I didn't call you Dick. I wouldn't do that to you.
That's Dick's place.
Them's rules we established a long time ago. Yeah. My name is Richard. Yeah. That was a good party, by the way. Yeah. Rawls, any more feedback? I feel bad you're sitting there on your swather, and I want to hear what you have to say.
Oh no, I just there's a lot of really neat scenes to that. Scenes that are kind of unique to the culture of Australia that I thought were cool. Like when, you know, all the older gentlemen at his dad's wake or funeral, whatever you want to call it, that told him he had to come down off the mountain and earn his way. I mean, there's just I'd always kind of enjoyed the I don't know, the rustic outback feel that Australia had, and that was kind of a neat little feature that they showed right up front with, you know, this is how it is here, and you got to make your way.
Here's what's expected. We're not going to give it to you. You got to go earn it. Yeah, it's time to come off the mountain and get out there in the world. And you can come back, but you got to go out and do it first. I thought. Yeah. Great point, Rawls. That was the expected culture of the time there for sure. And the young Jim, he stood up and did what he had to do.
No, he's kind of a badass about the way he went about doing it. And
yes,
when he, I don't remember. Well, there's the Return to Snowy River too, when he shows up the General Patton's kid too, and he kind of just has a cocky attitude about himself that was relatable, maybe.
Pretty matter of fact. Like, I'm just going to do it. I'm not going to talk about it. You'll just see what happens. So go pound sand. Yeah, no,
it was a fun movie to watch, and a lot of memories as a kid watching it. That, I guess, growing up in a Western culture, you kind of, anybody that can ride a horse off a mountain like that and have a nice horse like that, you maybe kind of looked up to if they were in real life around you.
That's the thing too. You could always tell that Jim's horse came first, no matter what. I thought that was really cool. Because I think that's truly how that actor was too. I've always heard the fact that, like, he was a really good rider, that they kind of taught to act a little bit and not the other way around. And I think that's shown through for sure.
And who doesn't have an Uncle Spur?
Yeah. If Buckwheat had one leg, he would be Spur, no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, just a really good movie all the way around. I'm glad. Who did recommend it, by the way? Do we get to disclose their name on the podcast? Who?
Well, I think it was Lady McBoner over there. I think is one of the people that sent it in. Yeah.
It's not Mick Boner.
Oh, just Lady Boner. Sorry.
Yeah. You now have a new nickname there, Missy.
Lady Boner. Yeah. Well, Mick Boner sort of has that
Mick
more.
Boner.
Lady McBoner of Charlotte. Yeah.
It's Mick Friendly.
Yes, it's sort of this comes in a snack pack sort of form. Yeah. Talk about a Happy Meal upgrade. I didn't see that coming. Lady McBoner of Shiloquin. It's not Shiloquin anymore. It's Shiloquin. It sounds much more.
Oh, it's so much better than
Herefordshire. Yes, Shiloquin.
I love being a McBoner. I'm excited.
Third Temptress of TP. Lady McBonerton of Shiloquin. Yes.
Hey, I'm literally excited to be a McBoner.
I think that's a new T-shirt for Roundup. That's.
I'm gonna go on mute now.
I'm surprised it took us this long to get a wheel in the ditch. I'm kind of disappointed, actually, but oh well, call it professional courtesy. So, anyways, yeah, for everybody who haven't, I'm sure we missed some favorite scenes from the listeners are like, I can't believe you didn't talk about X. Well, let us know what you're thinking about. I think we're really excited to talk about this movie because it's one that never gets old. Joe, I'm really curious to see what you think about it because I think it's the one we all like. And again, you hear the soundtrack, you know exactly what's going on and just the characters. And it, you know, it came out in '82, I think. So we were all pretty young when that hit the dirt. And, you know, it's been with us for a long time. So I think that's part of it too, is one of those, as they call the formative years. So
you had to wait for it to come out on VHS and then you could watch it.
It took a while. Yeah. Then you had to get on a waiting list, and then like you had to track down who had it from the video, and like son of a
Then
bitch.
hopefully your parents would rent the movie machine for the
Yeah, they get the
weekend.
VCR to pack home.
That's
So
what-
they,
Yep.
I didn't know about that. Brian just told me about that when we were at the pool. That yeah, whenever they go to town, they'd rent the Man from Snowy River, and
There's not any.
but you had to rent a VCR.
yeah, they were like $1,500 for an old piece of shit like top loader VCR. Like it was insane,
And-
man.
Do not bring it in late.
No, that's like you can't rent
Not good.
anymore. Like they're tracking you down like the IRS. Yeah,
And
it
rewind
was-
your movies. Rewind your
Please
movies.
be
'cause
kind.
We're gonna get
Rewind.
charged. Yeah.
Yeah, there'd be a $2.
Was that like
Yeah, like, we had the
before
separate
VCR?
rewinder, remember? So you
Yes.
can wear out your VCR. Yeah.
before VCRs? Could people watch movies at home? Was there something before it?
Well, you had Beta, which was the smaller version, and you had there was Laserdisc for a couple years, but then
No, I mean,
porn
what
went with VHS. No, no, you couldn't like film strips. You didn't ever get a movie like that. So you watched it at the theater, or you waited till it came out edited on TV. Basically, that whole segment of the market was non-existent. So Beta and VHS and all that stuff came out, and then it was like, especially living in Lakeview, like it would come out in the theater, and then like a day later it'd be at the video store, or sometimes vice versa.
Yeah.
Like it'd be at the video store, then it's that weekend at the theater. So
So like,
Or it'd be at the movie house.
the movie house, I forgot about that one. Yeah, we had some stiff competition in L-Town there.
the picture
Yeah.
show at the
Yeah,
movie
we
house.
did.
Lakeview's the only theater that ever showed the Rambo ones out of sync with the storyline.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Because Lloyd was the cinematographer, or the
Oh.
guy that
Oh, I forgot about Lloyd. Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Oh, well, I forgot about him being the movie guy.
Lloyd.
When I watched Man from Snowy River at Lakeview, he literally burned it up when the horse was going down the hill.
No.
Yeah. Yes. And then you'd have to wait for 45 minutes for him to get through the tape again. And then
Joel, there was a guy.
I,
He was also the weather dude on the local radio station, AM 1230 KQIK, quick radio, Lloyd's Outlook, and he was really slow, and he would like hand calculate the barometric pressure and all this stuff. And then he also was the dude at the movie theater that changed the reels and ran everything. And almost without fail, something would go wrong every single
Always.
movie. And like it would stop, and like the whole place would go dark, and everybody just starts yelling out, Lloyd, and like Lloyd, and then
And he was so kind and so sweet.
so
Such a
sweet, so old, just like
good
old,
gentleman.
yeah, we were just all so mean to him. But yeah, like Richard said, like right when the horse is coming off, like when you watch me, like one of the pivotal points of the entire movie, it like melts like you see on TV. Like that shit used to happen in real life. Film would actually like get destroyed.
Lloyd fucked up a lot of things.
Oh,
My favorite was when he would get the reel out of order,
yes.
and you'd be watching the movie, and you'd be in like the next third, the end third of the movie, and you missed the entire middle section. And then
Forgot about
the movie would end, and then the next movie would come on, and it would be the middle. It was always
like,
fun.
I'm like what the hell? Like yeah, it was like it was 47 minutes long, and what the shit happened? Who's that dude? Yeah, and then like the other, but it was just sort of the beauty of.
And you'd
you know,
look
then-
upstairs and just be skunk eyeing Lloyd, like, come on, Lloyd. Poor Lloyd. Oh,
You have to be a certain age to even go in the you had to be 16 to go in the balcony. Is that
even
right?
going to the bell. Yes.
I don't know.
Nobody
Like,
waited
yeah.
that long.
No, but like you couldn't make out down below or do something that was 16 and over, I guess. But
Yeah.
like, to go upstairs in the balcony, you're supposed to be 16, but nobody.
Hey, that gal can't be putting her hand in the buttered popcorn. I'll tell you that.
But I will forever, ever, ever remember the smell of Alger Theatre when you walked in with the popcorn and like those neon lights and shit. And that was like magic time. I've still loved movie theaters because of that. Especially
on an awesome summer night, because there is no summer in the whole wide world than a summer in Lake County.
I guarantee you that.
Honestly, it's beautiful. There's only 2 months of it,
but it's beautiful.
Yeah,
so there's like a 7:20 show, so you came out about 9 or 9:30. It was just absolutely perfect, and you're all revved up and go amped up
to Jerry's Park, or go sit in front of Pizza Villa or whatever.
You gotta go cruise. You gotta go cruise and sit in the Safeway parking lot. But it was still a blast. And poor Joel, he's missing out. He has no freaking idea what we're talking about.
I know.
I really want to talk to an old person now and find out.
You got 3
more
of them
about.
here.
Well, like back in like the Western day when Westerns were coming out, that was is that the 60s?
40s, 50s, 60s. Yeah.
So like these movies would come out and then they run in the theater.
Yeah.
And then they just kind of disappeared until because they put them on TV, but wasn't there only like a few channels on TV too?
Oh, there's like 3, like CBS, NBC, ABC. Basically,
so
that was it.
This John Wayne movie might eventually make it on television in like 2 weeks from now.
Maybe.
How did people view these once they were done at the movie theater? How did they become like favorites?
Well, sometimes they would have like at the drive-in, they would get older movies. Sometimes there was always the bargain cinema that had older ones.
Drive-ins always showed old movies, right?
Older movies. There's always places that showed older movies. Sometimes they would have like the John Wayne weekend. They're going to play 4 or 5 John Wayne classics because they could get the movies in from somebody. So they were recycled through a lot, but there was no.
You had to go video.
Yeah, it was. They stayed in the circle, but yeah, it was definitely not like you couldn't go buy it, you couldn't download it, and you sure as hell you couldn't go rent it anywhere. It was just it had to come back to town. Sometimes they do an extended release or bring it back in the fall. Like if it came out early in the year, they would re-release it in the fall to try to get back in the awards contention or something like that too, so it might come back through town. But no, it was just completely different. I guess
like my whole life we've had a VCR, so I always think like I go way back to what it was before what we currently have, but fail to remember that or think about that was new technology. So that was like new technology when I was a kid. I had no idea. It was just
that was cutting edge. Like it was like we saved for a long time to buy our first VCR. Like it was $1,200 to $1,500, I think. Of course, it came out. I think that was a Sears catalog or something. It had like you adjust the tracking on the front because like it was like some of these
tracking,
and it's just, you had to get a head cleaner. Not like in college, but like it was like an actual tape you put in with alcohol on it that would clean the heads off because there was a 4-head VCR. Remember that was like the really good one, not compared to like just the regular, so it was like that was the old school version of HD would be the 4-head VCR.
You know so much about
VCR. Even talking about the poor bastards that bought a Beta first.
Yes, that was the other thing too. Like Beta was smaller size, great picture. And I, everybody says it. I totally believe it. The porn industry went with VHS over Beta. So that became the dominant form of film afterwards. But Beta was better quality.
Paid off.
Probably. I wonder how that happened.
Yeah. Weird.
Yeah.
Somebody
call Lady Boner. We need her right away. So yeah, like it was better quality and everything, but they went with VHS instead. So like kind of like Blu-ray, HD, all that crap, but not near the impact. So
I never really got that, like the Blu-ray.
Yeah, well, I guess I don't think the TVs could even keep up with it at that time, so it didn't really matter.
Yeah, it kind of seemed senseless to me, but
yeah, renting videos and trading them around and VCRs. They came like a huge suitcase. Like they were not lightweight either. They were not something you would steal and keep for a long time. Had that stupid adapter on the back of the TV and had to switch it back. Like it was a whole pain in the ass. Yeah, it was.
And all the VHSs had the federal warning on them, and when you're a kid, you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
pirate. Like,
I'm gonna go
Jesus,
to
I shouldn't even watch
prison?"
it. Yeah,
I know.
exactly.
I know.
We didn't rewind it. We could go to jail. Calm down. It's okay. Yeah. That was huge sales for just the tape rewinder. You don't wear out the one in your VCR. Get this auxiliary one for $20. And I was in the fucking, remember the Finger Hut catalog? Anybody else get the Finger Hut catalog?
Oh, I still get them.
You probably.
And I'm like, can I sign off the junk mail list somehow?
Reserved special deal for Lady
Yes.
Boner. Yeah. Like, oh, I feel great. I got my $9,000 credit card. Go ahead, Richard.
How many times in college did you put in the big fat Greek wedding and have somebody have recorded porn on it?
What? I don't know.
What?
No, that's my favorite. What was my favorite thing about VCRs? There'd be one thing labeled on it, and you'd be like, "Oh, here's a nice Disney movie," and you'd stick it in, and it'd be something totally different.
That's what she said.
I was like, Richard just got real weird real fast. He's recording
that
porn
one
over
out
the big fat Greek.
Out of the archives.
Wedding? What?
I don't think he read that title correctly. It was My Big Fat Greek something else, I think. Yeah. But you are correct. Yes. You'd be like, oh, great. There was that safety feature. You could take that little tab and pop it out, and you couldn't record over it because we had Dave and I had compiled some of the greatest Simpsons episodes ever, and we recorded. And we took the little tab and you snapped it off. So you had to put tape over it if you wanted to re-record on it. But if that tab was broken off, that was serious, no can over record kind of deal. So yeah, I didn't realize either, Joel, that I knew all this about VCRs.
Yeah, you're like the world's expert on VCRs.
Oh, no.
Whole niche I never knew I
Life
had.
hacks and history. And
I'm only 35 years behind. So what, I got that going for me. It can make a resurgence like vinyl.
what was the very first movie ever produced on VHS? Because I know the very first movie ever made on DVD because I've owned it several times. So you always have to have a copy on hand.
Kinky. Hey, we need to find out what that is. But Richard, what'd you say?
Star Wars.
Richard says Star Wars.
Well, I don't know. That's a weird
I don't
question
either.
to ask when you don't know the answer yourself.
That's kind of that's a Joel move right there.
The DVD was Twister. That was the
Are
first.
you shitting me?
Really?
All
That's
movies?
actually, I love that movie.
Yeah, that's a fantastic movie.
It's got a great love story in it. It's good.
I just wish Helen Hunt was a
good.
bit cuter.
Bit cuter?
I
Yeah.
absolutely.
She kind of
Mhm.
peaked in As Good as It Gets, if you ask me.
I don't think she was ever there. She never made it. She was like
I
close.
think-
She-
That was it. She peaked. That's all, but it still wasn't good. That's just as far as she got.
She was very plain Jane, very much.
Yeah.
Yep,
It was that whole kind
She
of
had-
squinty-eyed, tilty head thing I didn't really like.
with a really sharp nose.
Yeah, and she was just always kind of like wishy-washy.
Oh wait, I always
She did have
was.
two-
What's that, Richard?
Oh, dude.
Richard.
I cannot get in. She did have two outstanding features that make her memorable forever.
Nipple 1, nipple 2?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said she
Okay.
peaked in As Good as It Gets. That was it.
Yeah. Oh my
Her
goodness.
nipples were peaked.
Just saying. Yeah. She just, I didn't like, she was kind of like the female version of Hugh Grant, kind of like me. And I'm like, just say something. Don't be so
Oh yeah,
mean.
you're right.
So
I hate
mean
Hugh Grant.
all the time.
shouldn't
Like
say hate,
as
but-
good as it, what was the Mad About
Hugh
You?
Grant?
She was always
Awesome.
like, he just kind of mumbles about it. That's his really big fubbly kind of thing. I just don't like that. So anyways,
She
Charming
was
as
that way in
hell.
Twister.
first DVD movie was Twister. That just blows my mind, dude.
I remember going to Alger Theatre and Lloyd fucking that one up.
It starts with a giant
was-
twister. And then,
Yes. Oh, it was such a good movie though. It was yeah, but he always, for some reason, I don't know why, when he changed the reels, it always was like at a very pivotal moment of the movie.
yeah. I
Poor-
guess I
poor Lloyd.
love that guy. I love the Weather Outlook too. My buddy Mike Peterson, not guys, but the other Mike Peterson, Mark's big brother used to work at the radio station, and he was like, dude,
Yeah.
Lloyd is like the weather guru. Like, he calculates all this shit by hand. I'm like, yeah, but it still sucks, man. It was just like,
Yeah, dude. He looked out the window.
yeah, they
That's
called
what
it
he did.
Lloyd's Outlook. And he'd be like,
Yeah.
partially cloudy,
Yeah.
chance of rain, barometric pressure
He was so
29.26. You know, you're just like, all right, thanks, Lloyd. But so yeah, Twister, I'll watch it if it's on, I guess, but I don't ever like intentionally sit down and like flip through like Twister, but I'll watch it if I'm going through.
It's like a with Rudy. When college football starts, I'll watch Rudy. When tornado season rolls around, I watch Twister.
Well, there you go. Kick off the tornado season. You'd be like a Sharknado guy. So
I like
You just get that feeling.
it's a White Claw. I do know my first movie I bought on VHS was Full Metal Jacket.
Oh, that's one of the greatest movies ever.
Yeah, that first one I ever bought was that. So I don't know what came out first, but that's the first one I particularly owned was FMJ. So Born to Kill. Richard?
How can you kill women and children?
Easy. You just don't need them
Easy.
so much. Get some, baby. Get some. Do you know that guy, Missy, the door gunner, was supposed to be Gunnery Sergeant Hartman?
No.
Yeah. He had like trained and practiced for like almost a year. And Ermy, the guy who ended up being Gunny, was like
Who was awesome.
Yeah, he was the
Did a great
best.
job.
He ended up taking it from him, and they felt so bad they gave him the door gunner scene. But that guy was supposed to be. I can't picture him in anything else.
Me either.
Because I'm so fucking good. That's why.
Yeah.
It's just like, the best. I'll never forget Kevin Conn. They had a firefighting hat. Kevin Conn did, and it said "Get some" on the back. I thought that was the best thing ever. They probably couldn't pull that off anymore, but get some, baby.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Missy was the first VHS movie you remember owning.
I never owned a VHS movie. One of the first ones I ever, because my dad liked to watch probably not real appropriate shows, was Eddie Murphy Delirious.
Yeah, and Raw.
Yeah, and Cheech and Chong. We watched all of those.
All of those.
Every single
Up in Smoke,
we watched
Still
those.
Smoking.
Yep. That we've seen every single one. Next movie, all of them. We've seen every one. Those were the best. So that's, those are what I remember. I never even owned a VHS.
The formative years. That explains a lot.
I've never been a huge movie watcher, but when you're a kid and your parents are like, we're gonna go do something this weekend, you kids can stay home and watch VHS. But of course, the parents want to watch what they want to watch too if they are home. So we got to watch Eddie Murphy Delirious or Cheech and Chong, and
yeah, sneaking around the Eddie Murphy cassettes. That was the best thing. Like, dude, I get to borrow it this weekend, and you like have just like life changing.
That explains a lot about your brother.
Oh my gosh!
Something has to begin to explain that.
Something.
Yeah. It's probably
like
just a small part.
That's the story of like every great comic. Is like when they were kids, something like that. They just exposed to that great content early on.
And my brother is a very hilarious human being. I mean, he probably did miss his calling as being a comic. Yeah. Yep.
I think he's got the chutzpah to do it too. He just doesn't care. Like, he would just go talk. Like, whatever.
He says the rottenest things too all the time. Even on Facebook, he says stuff. I'm like, Mike, you can't. And he's like, why? I'm like, well, not everybody thinks that's funny. I'm like, well.
And that's coming from you.
I know.
Like if you're the one of the bunch being like, hey, that might have been too far, then that's probably
it's super far.
Gonna raise some eyebrows. Yeah.
and he calls me the conversation ender. He goes, oh, you say stuff and everyone just quits talking and they leave. But he's not wrong.
We're laughing.
So,
that's
yeah.
Joel, if you're not friends with Missy on Facebook, you should probably do that just to brighten both y'all's days. I think we should probably charge people to watch you two interact just to see so much fun. I think it'd be great though.
One last thing about VHS is, I was trying to say it, but I was on mute.
What is your
But
question, my son? Yes.
it's not a question. I just remember like when I was a kid and I'd spend the night at certain friends' houses, and they actually had real movies like on VHS, like with the cover and everything.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't like bootlegged or recorded off something else.
Yeah, like these fuckers are rich. Just,
Mhm.
It was like what, like, $80 to $100 to buy a VHS?
The white piece of tape on the side of it said "Better Off Dead." Or,
yeah, like scratched on and had been pulled
Oh,
off
yes.
with something else, and
yeah,
it was like
Ski
really
School
expensive to like Beverly Hills Cop was like, it was like $79 or something. It was insane.
I can
That was
still
a great
picture
show.
like the VHS tape of Ghost written in pencil. We had that on recorded.
That was we had a 6-hour tape of music videos from MTV, and then we had satellites, so we had much music too out of Canada. And we actually had like yellow tablets because there was like a counter on the VHS. So we had it like dialed in, like where every video was by the number. So you could just fast forward to the video you wanted to watch, like Poison, you know, Cherry Pie, whatever, Metallica.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Warrant, man.
More
Cherry.
life.
Who didn't love that video?
Exactly. There's only some of the videos they only paid like after 9. So you
I know.
record it and then you had it, you know, Friday night video fights, etc. So that was the other thing, was recording all those things. But yeah, like everybody came over to the house in Pinetown and we would battle like which one we had to fast forward to. Like, no, I want to watch. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Lita Ford. Like, there's all this great stuff.
Oh yes.
I remember when you couldn't get MTV in Lakeview because it wasn't they didn't think it was like family values or whatever. So we didn't even get MTV until sometime like early 90s. And
Yeah.
the only way before the early 90s you could watch it was on USA, and you'd have to stay up until like 10:30, and then you could watch 4 hours of the video music of the I forget even, I think it was called Fright Night, and then
Friday night video fight.
Oh yeah, it was Fright Night. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And
beautiful.
you should find that video and send it to MTV because apparently they forgot how to MTV.
Yeah, they don't even MTV anymore, do they?
Even like
At all?
MTV, like 2 or 3 or 4 still doesn't have like, oh, actually one of them occasionally will have a thing like I call like I miss the 80s or something. And
Yes,
they'll have
I
some
love
shit.
it. That's VH1 that does
Is it
that.
VH1? Yeah.
Mhm.
I get them all mixed up. That used to be like the shittiest. Like that was like what your parents watched was VH1. Like that was
Yeah.
crap.
Yep.
And you're like, you never watched it. Like the countdown sucked. And like, who was this dude? Like Peter Gabriel? I don't care. Now you're like, oh, this is 80s
Now you're like,
and 90s.
No, you're like Peter Gabriel?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a catchy swing. Yeah.
However,
Sledgehammer.
people don't consume music like. I don't think that's MTV's fault. I feel like they quit music showing it like videos earlier than I would have expected, but I think they're ahead of the game. Like nobody would consume music through television, right?
Oh, dude, TLR Live with Carson Daly. That was like
Carson Daly,
that
he
was-
made it.
That was
mega.
mega.
25 years ago.
I know, but you consider where it came from to then. Like that was definitely the peak, I think, of videos. But like
when they did Spring Break, when they did the
Yes.
Spring
Oh.
Break with Carson Daly,
Mhm.
that was in the 90s. It was in the mid 90s because I was graduating high school. I remember. And it was when they did the Spring Break Live, it blew MTV completely
Spring
out of the
Break
water.
Live was
Yep.
crazy.
Yep, with Carson Daly. Yep.
That man was a menace. He still is. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
I
Well,
still
Kurt
remember-
Schroeder was
I
one of
still-
the guys too. Right?
I still remember when Kennedy
Kurt
was
Yoder.
a badass.
What's that, Richard?
I still remember when Kennedy was a badass.
Kennedy for sure.
Oh,
Kurt Yoder.
yes.
Fort Loader.
Who was the guy? Adam Payne? Adam what? With the huge Adam
Curry.
something. Adam Curry.
Downtown Julie
Julie
Brown.
Brown. Wubba wubba.
Yes.
I
Yep.
can't believe I said that out loud. Cheese and rice.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. And then they were called
And then,
VJs. Yeah.
Okay, you've had too much to drink.
I've been empty for like an hour. What are you talking about? I'm probably parched. That's the problem. I need to servant
We
or
need
waitress.
We need to move on to the intellectual moment of the week.
That ship sailed a long time ago. Whatever. Yeah. Whatever, buzzkill. Okay, so Richard, yeah, we spent about an hour and a half on a Man from Snowy River. Talked about it for about 30 minutes. We got it way in the weeds about VHS. That's okay. It's all about learning. I realized I have a hidden talent of knowing all things about VHS and VCRs. I'm going to capitalize on that eventually. So, on to one of our favorite segments for sure of the many that we have on this show. This is the Intellectual Moment Week, brought to you by our good friends at Pendleton Mixer and Cigar, downtown Pendleton, 235 Southwest Immigrant Avenue, I believe. But if you find yourself in Pendleton, you don't know where the liquor store is, just stop and ask anybody and say, hey, where's the liquor store? And they'll tell you right how to get there. So walk in there, tell them, good day, shopkeep. The Reachers sent me. What do you have for me this week? I think Big Daddy said he heard 25 cents off a can of Copenhagen. I think that's good enough for me.
Nickel.
Tell him, I think we're going to kick it up a notch. We're going to go quarter.
Okay.
That's from the Reacher discount. So yes, say good day, shopkeep. The Reacher sent me. I want my discount on my Copenhagen. So our intellectual moment of the week. Again, it's random. It sort of speaks to me. I open myself up to the universe and it shows up. So this week's quote is, history will be kind to me, for I intend to write it myself. Winston Churchill. Richard, what do you think when you hear that?
I think that he was mostly right until the crazy wokeness started happening and they started tearing down his statues. So I'm a big Winston Churchill fan, and I really love the last movie, the Winston Churchill with Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman just nailed it.
I loved he and his wife writing his speeches. I thought that was just amazing. And if anything, Churchill was a great orator, and
it was exactly what they needed at the time, for sure.
Yeah, and he did it. I mean, talk about early PR and stuff. He wrote the script for how that war was going to turn out. I mean, when he made all that predictions, it was in like it's called the darkest hour. They were in their darkest hour, and none of the stuff that he foretold should have come to fruition. But he was able to keep everybody's spirits alive, I think, both in England and across the world. And I think if Hitler's message was strong, the Britain was very savvy to find somebody that was a better speaker than Hitler, and
which is quite a statement.
A better, clearer message. So, yeah, no, I think that he embodied that quote to the T. I think that it was 100% Winston Churchill. I don't know that anybody could pull it off just like he did.
It ties in so well too with your book we did a while ago about the bomber mafia also, and just the difference in opinions and how the approach should be. Yep. I think about, I don't know if it's a true quote, but I remember in the movie where him and the wife are supposedly walking down the street, and she's like, oh, you see that man who's sweeping the sidewalk? I almost married him when I was in high school. And he's like, yes, then you'd have been the wife of a sanitation man. She's like, no, then he would have been prime minister, meaning that, she was a huge partner to his success. So I thought it's a really cool quote. I don't know if it's true or not, but it was awesome. So she would, that's what Lady Boner would say.
Oh, well, maybe.
Bruh, yeah.
Yeah. Seems kind of over my head, but whatever.
Yeah, I think it also says like those are that in the moment kind of get to shape how things are said too. And so both good and bad, and new and old.
That was very intellectual.
Read it.
It's sort of my standard reply to anything. Want it again? History will be kind to me, for I intend to write it.
Okay, so it's interesting. Are we ready for my thoughts here?
Yes, I'd love to hear what you have to say.
I would be curious when he said that, at what point in his life. Like, obviously that turned out to be true. But considering like his other quotes and like what he's kind of famous for, he had a great sense of humor. And to me, when you first said it, I'm like, that's funny. I don't think it's truly an intellectual. Well, I guess it is intellectual, but I think he was making a joke, because I think ultimately history is not going to be kind to any of us. Like, whatever we think, whatever prejudices we hold is going to be, they're going to look back at in 100 years at what we used to think. And I think Churchill was definitely smart enough to understand that. So he's making a pretty funny joke about he's the exception because he's making the history.
Well, that's how I see it. Is exactly like, I'm the one here now kicking ass, so I'm gonna do it. That's how I intend it. Like, he's writing history, like he's the one making it happen. He's telling it himself. He's, like Richard said, he's making it come true. That's how I interpret that.
I do too. It's like, be good to yourself. That's gonna be your history, you're gonna make it.
You're gonna do it. Yeah.
Pretty simple.
I don't think he's truly that narcissistic. He ended up doing it. And he was.
I think that, yes, you are very spot on that he definitely had a lot of tongue in cheek and a lot of humor about him. That's just how, when I first heard it, that's how I interpreted it, as like, maybe it was, Joel, because you have to think about what they'd been through at that point also, and their history and how that came to be. So very well could have been him being a smartass too. I think
so true though.
I would say it's tongue in cheek with hints at the truth. I would say that if he wasn't narcissistic, he was borderline narcissistic.
I would concur.
Normal people just don't pull that shit off.
Thank you. Yeah. Rawls, can you hear us? You got any thoughts? How's the hay?
Oh.
There he is.
What'd you say?
Hi. Is it, you got any thoughts on the quote? Did you hear it?
No, I didn't hear it. What is it?
History will be kind to me, for I intend to write it. That's by Winston Churchill.
Oh, wow. I guess if you're writing your own history, it's only going to be kind to you.
Hopefully, if you're the author, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. I couldn't hear. I could tell Richard had some good commentary. I couldn't hear exactly what he was saying on it, but I wish I had more to feed off of his right now, because I don't have a lot to say about that. I think as long as you take care of yourself, your history will write itself and be good. Kind of speaks for itself, really.
Yes, he kind of made it happen and was a little bit comedic about how he did it.
Yeah, that's a really neat quote.
I thought it was cool. It kind of just reached out and spoke to me as I was perusing all the annals of the internet for witty things that stuck out, and so I was like, "Oh, sweet!" So I thought it
kind of goes back to the old adage that life is a choice, and if you make good choices, you'll have a good story to tell.
And the world is ran by those who show up. So, yeah,
that's very true.
Well, that was more than a moment, but I think that's more than that's probably fair. I think Mixer and Cigar got their money's worth out of that. So our very next segment, I've been looking forward to this segment since we started as well, because our next segment is Far Reach's Word of the Week. And since she's our special guest this week, Lady Boner is going to be bestowing upon us her word, her phrase, her term, if you will. So we're all anxiously awaiting what might come forth and hither from Charlotte Wind.
I had a really hard time with this, because I was like, I just don't know, do I want to do something that nobody can get or everyone can chime in, or so I just thought, well, this one kind of makes sense. Probably, I mean, I don't know, you guys will probably get it because you guys are all smart fellows, but I'm sure you'll probably get it right away. No, Benzinery.
Benzinery.
Yes.
Can you spell that?
B-E. Don't you Google it?
No, I'm writing.
Okay. Okay. Benzinery.
And so I think of like
That-
benzene.
That is when Ben and I get too drunk at the bar and we talk about Zen philosophy.
And you guys are on your own. You're speaking benzinery. Turns out I would totally buy that. Yes, totally buy that.
Well,
Is the word is it like a bunch of nonsense, talking crazy? It's talking a bunch of benzinery. That's what my guess would be.
I keep going back to benzene, but I don't think that's the right base word
It's
for that.
chaos.
I think it's
Benzinery is like chaos and nonsense.
like berserk kind of. Is that how you're equating it?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I just I can't quite get my brain around it. No,
are we ready?
I think so. Lay it on us.
It's a low-grade drinking establishment because cheap whiskey was also known as benzene.
There we go. So it was tied to benzene.
Yep.
And drinking. Yes.
Yes, exactly. I thought it was a handy little phrase.
Benzinery. Damn
When's
it.
when's the last time you've been to a benzinery?
Probably not long enough. Yeah.
I'm now thinking of starting a podcast with just Ben and I and calling it Benzinery.
That would be awesome.
Totally.
How come when I Google benzinery, it's like gas stations near you? I wonder.
I don't know. It says something about where you're at.
No, it will do that too. But yeah, it's a really old slang term.
I love it.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that you get gas station advertisements when you Google it.
I was gonna name my outdoor bar area Shenanigans because that's what happens there. But I might call it benzinery just because.
Say that word one more time, Micah, and watch what happens. What shenanigans?
That's a bunch of malarkey. Yeah. Are you gonna pistol with me, Joel? If I say shenanigans? Yeah. What's that place with all this shit on the wall? You mean shenanigans? Yeah.
That is so good. Super Troopers is a great
brought to you by, oh my god, the first part 2 was okay. Number 1 actually changed the world. Yeah, it's I love that movie so much. Yeah. You boys like Mexico?
Mexico, that's one of my favorite parts.
They get all antsy in the pantsy when they get on the syrup. Yeah. Oh, I gotta type this into the
pretty girl when they drink that.
Oh, much of my power is derived from my lips. Yes. Oh, and then the German couple. How could you not remember the German couple?
Oh, yeah. And the music.
Yeah, every time I hear that too, I'm like, yeah. It's like industrial German porn music. You're like, oh, yes. No wonder they're so angry all the time. Yeah. Oh, well, we're gonna kick it down a notch. This is our segment, another segment brought to you by our good friends at B&K Auto. And I think social distancing rules still kind of in effect in Oregon, and they're getting released mostly, aren't they?
Tomorrow.
Well, saints be praised. Welcome to America. Yeah. So they're still doing their specials. You can just call in parts anyways, and you can roll in the door. They'll have it ready for you to pick up. Or I know a lot of the reachers like to go pull it themselves, pull their own. And you can certainly do that if you go to the B&K Auto Yard. You can go pull your own there and pick up some parts. Tell them the Reacher sent you. Promo code Reacher, you're going to get a little discount on those and a little bump on your scrap prices. So how can you go wrong with that? Everybody wins in that regard. So this segment, we like to call What's Grinding Your Gears. There's a little chance to blow off a little bit of steam about something that might be pissing you off in the world right now, or even in your own little world, not necessarily the global scale, but sort of a way to kind of exercise the demons a little bit and get it off your chest, so to speak. So, Lady B, do you have anything that's kind of grinding your gears?
Oh, yeah. Just no irrigation water. That's a constant stressor in our lives. It's a big deal. and it's constantly grinding my gears. When I wake up, when I look out the window, when we got to pay for hay, when we can't even get our, we can't make our own hay. Usually we have about 1,500 head of yearlings here. This year we had 500 head. We've got 3 loads left to ship out already. It's next week. I mean, we should have them till September.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just, that's what's grinding my gears. I don't know. There's so many different avenues with the government control on how they got the water in the first place. I just am ready for somebody to blow somebody up. I don't even know what can be done for it. It's gonna, well, I did see Ammon Bundy's got, he bought a place on the right there next to the dam. So that could.
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. No. So, and he did say he had a little write up, and he said this is threatening people's way of life, and there's probably going to be violence, but it's either that or we're going to die from starvation anyway. So we'll see what happens. I mean, it's definitely it is a drought year, yes, but we haven't gotten water, and even to just take a shot over our place for 5 years now, just because of the whole. It started out as, they started with the fish, the sucker fish with the Indians, but that was a way for the government to get in and get control, just like everything else.
Which is what they seem to strive for in every waking second of
their
existence.
Yeah, it's all the dum-dums in the cities that there's so many of them, and they don't even understand the real way of life, and they vote for things and they do things that they just don't even. They don't even collaborate or make sense with what's going on. So
there's a huge disconnect. Yeah.
Huge. Something's got to happen. Has to.
I think I don't know what percentage. Oh, by the way, I've been really enjoying your posts about your situation. And
they're informative. Absolutely. No, it
I
tells a good story.
I don't know where else to ever voice anything either, though, really, and like I said, I'm not a real not a learned doctor. That's from Step Brothers.
Yes.
but
I thought you were going to bust out some Ron Burgundy. I have many other round books.
But yeah, I'm always perplexed by the fact that I always was curious to see what percentage of food the Oregon's food was grown in the Klamath Basin. And I know it doesn't all stay there, but it had to be 30 to 40% of the entire food grown in the state, I would say, just because it's so extremely productive. And I know everybody thinks everything happens in the Willamette Valley or up around the wheat and everything, but I think that Klamath probably produced the lion's share of the food in Oregon for the amount of acreage that was there. Yep. And I just cannot for the life of me figure out why taking the water from the farmers there was so damn important. I'm just curious what the end game is, or if it's just pure insanity and there is no greater plan.
You control the food, you control the people, just like everything that's happening these days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I hate to sound like such a crazy, but it's not crazy. It's a very, very real thing. I mean,
I don't know much about this.
Go ahead.
Can you back up a little bit? So what's going on? The government is controlling water, and then you said Bundy bought a place by the dam. Is that an implication that he would do something to the dam or something?
I'm not saying. I'm just saying.
And so they're cutting off water.
Yes. The water's been diverted to reflect historic levels for fish.
Really?
Yes.
But it's not historic levels because.
Well,
yeah.
That's what the statement is, but that's why they're doing what they are, because of the necessary minimum levels, or what they say that should, and it goes back to really old water rights and all that sort of malarkey too. Joel, this could be a whole 4-hour podcast, and we would barely scratch the surface about the number of things that have been involved in this. Even back when I was with the cattlemen, this has been going on for a long time.
I'm just kind of connecting something that Brian was talking about with like the state of Oregon, for example, is wanting to know about wetland areas, and they literally have somebody in Portland that's looking at Google Maps and zooming in and looking for water,
Mhm.
and then they'll go check it out. What I think that is, it's like there's a state or a federal agency, and it existed, it was created for a specific purpose, and there's a scope creep issue where there's people trying to justify their jobs. So they're like, here's another thing we can do to achieve our goal. They're very one-sided, unchallenged, biased goal. And they're just implementing these things sort of unchecked.
That's part of it, because this is more of a federal level, I believe, in Klamath. But you are
Yeah.
right too, that a lot of times it's just a bean counter trying to check a box, and they don't play well with other A, common sense, or B, how any other management's going on at the same time. And that's part of the other.
But I also like Missy's assumption, I don't know, it's an assumption, but that it's a conspiracy. They're trying to control the food production, and then they can control you. It kind of,
Yeah.
there's probably some more truth.
The
to
good
that than
news
I-
is it's the federal government, so even if they got complete control, they'd fuck it up.
Yeah.
We
yeah.
have that. There is that factor that's oddly enough in our favor.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to last very long. The federal government could even feed the army if the army was, and I'm guaranteed you, the United States Army is not going to come take farmers' lands away from them.
No, but they won't have to. If you're out of water and you can't grow anything, what are you going to do? That's part of the
So
point.
you know what's growing around here now. So you know what's happening. All these people are having to sell out because they can't afford to. You can't. What are you going to do? You don't
Mhm.
have water. You can't even make a living if you want to be in the ag business, right? Because you can't drill an ag well. You can put a permit in for it. You can pay the $10,000 to even put the permit in, and then they can tell you yay or nay on if you even get it, which everyone's getting a nay. They're growing pot everywhere. I mean, everywhere. It is so sad. It's just not good. And they can drill domestic wells for their pot, but who's gonna get to eat pot for the rest of their lives? I mean, you can't live off a pot.
And people try, but yeah,
I
you're
mean,
totally right.
yeah.
Do you think it's possible that like the big companies in this space, what's that big Cargill? Aren't they a big ranching deal?
They're a big feedlot. They're big.
Well, my thing is, I wonder if there's like big corporations that have the ability to lobby government and be like, make it hard on these people, so then put them out of business, and then we can step in and we'll get it, and the laws will change.
Yeah, I don't know where to even go with this, because it's got to go somewhere, because I mean, everyone's just stuck around here. Because we are on well, it used to be an Indian reservation, but in 1954, I believe the government, even Congress passed to get rid of the reservations like here. And so they bought them out. They bought out like their land and their timber and all that. They bought it out, but they still gave them hunting and fishing rights. So you could keep your land, or you could get, I can't even remember what the monetary value was. So they did that 2 different times so they have sold their own land here 2 times, but so they're making the fish. Now they're saying if the sucker fish die, then their people die. The Klamath tribe dies. So it is really just turned into and I think at the beginning they were just looking for a way to maybe keep getting money. But now even most of them are like, we're drying up around here. Like we got to have this, but the government stepped in and has just taken it to a whole new level. And it's like, they just keep pushing our water rights under the rug, because they're sending, because Klamath, like they're sending water down to California, and then they're doing their whole Delta smelt ordeal, and it's just a wreck. Like
It also
the
is
guy,
an endangered species in that idiocy.
yes, and you know what? I'm not totally like I couldn't tell you every rule and regulation on all of it. I can only tell you what I have learned, but it's just not it's not a good situation. I mean, there is not. This is how I break things down because I'm a pretty simple person. Their fish should not be more important than a human. That's that's the food chain. Like that's where we're at. Like that to me is pretty simple. And our ecosystem is being destroyed over. It's not just the fish. It's because the government is allowing this. They're the ones destroying it. They're
And that
taking
system has been altered. It's been there's canals, there's reservoirs, etc. That's all been altered. So now it has to be managed. You can't go back to this, kumbaya situation. Like it was developed for farm.
And even
by the
with
government.
and even with the tribes, are we going to go back to they're going to live in teepees and live off the land? No, they live off the government. Good or bad, that's what they've been grown into, and that's what it is. But for them to most of them don't though now, but to fight about that suckerfish that they say keeps their tribe alive, it's not even fair. Like we're never going to go back to living in teepees, and we're going to show up and raid America again. Or
it's two worlds colliding and using the government in the middle, and that's not
exactly
really
and the government trying to make either us look stupid or the tribes look stupid, one or the other. Because I mean, how much do they have to make the tribes completely dependent on the government, or how much do they have to make us completely dependent on the government? That's not what the government the government is supposed to be ruled by us, and we are the ones.
Crazy when you say it out loud, but that is precisely how it's supposed to be. But these days that sounds like, well, that's crazy talk. No, yeah, that the whole thing about the government shall provide, or it comes from the government. Like, no, my ass. That is a minimal involvement, and it comes from us in the first place. So it's never a gift when we get it back from them.
That's right.
They've taken it already. So
both sides think government should make your life easier, and Republicans want to achieve that by staying the fuck out of it. Democrats want you to legislate.
Just turn it all over.
And legislate and legislate and legislate. Yes. Everything's got a whole new rule and legislation.
Because they never take anything off the books either. Have you ever seen that?
No, they don't.
No,
once it passes into legislation, there it stays. But that's what's happening with the water deal here. Like, if they seen how burnt up and dry and nasty, if they honestly cared about the land, our land, America, you wouldn't do that.
That's well said.
You just wouldn't. Even if it is a drought, there's still a huge lake. Go ahead.
People are so far removed. It's like they feel like they're making positive things. Like, I mean, everybody got to feel nice and shiny about the spotted owl, but what did it do other than just plummet rural America into chaos and drug abuse and
complete red herring? That's what that was. Complete red herring.
Yeah. So and the thing is that it's just it's that urban rural, and I get in trouble for saying this a lot, but it's just flat ass true that people that live in urban areas think that people that live in rural areas are a bunch of dumb hicks, and they think that they have the right to have dominion over them. And the shoe is really on the other foot, since those cities cannot survive without the hinterland resources that come into them. They can't eat and drink the food that doesn't come from the flyover states or from the rural parts of Eastern Oregon or Eastern Washington or Northern California. It's just honestly, and I feel bad about saying this, but people in urban areas are going batshit crazy and losing their goddamn minds.
Yeah.
Huge disconnect. I think that's one of the 9,000 problems in all this situation, is the complete disconnect from the people who are, I'm going to say, in charge, shouldn't be, and the people actually on the ground that live there every day, and there's no concept of the reality in between or the impacts that all these things have on them. That's a huge part of the problem.
Hey,
And, you know,
P.S. My phone might die. It just told me it had 10%.
we got you. Okay.
Just in case I fade out. Just know I didn't leave without saying goodbye.
That's a first. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Well, we're almost
Right.
to the end too, because I think that's a pretty good gear grinder, and we're definitely going to circle back on that because that's going to continue for sure.
Yes.
But we'll talk about next week's entertainment spotlight. We're going to go do back-to-back People's Choice, I believe, and go. Next one is going to be Raising Arizona.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, which
I
is
love Raising Arizona.
which is one of the top movies of all time, I think. Quoted from top to bottom, and just so many. Or my name ain't Nathan, Arizona. Just so many great moments in that. So, yeah. So mark that down. Raising Arizona next time. Another People's Choice. It came in on several people, and I think that's a great idea too. So we'll wrap up. We're going to start with, we always like try to end on a high note because oftentimes grinding our gears kind of gets us in the dirt a little bit. So
I know I'm all pissed off again.
I know it's like me. I should never watch Tucker Carlson right before the podcast, but I often do.
I know.
So it's just bad timing. But anyway, we're going to finish off with best thing of the week. So Lady B, would take it away. And since your phone's almost to you as it is, and you're a special guest, please lay it on us.
What the best thing of the week was?
Best thing of the week, yes.
Ooh, boy. See, I didn't think this one through.
None of us ever do. Don't worry.
Maybe just a couple ice cold Coors Lights at the end of the day. That's
That's
about the best thing of the week.
hard to top, really.
It's yeah.
Well learned. A couple of some icy Charlie Limas. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's about the best thing of the week right now.
Goes down like a renegade nun. Absolutely.
175,000 degrees out. It feels pretty good.
It's a new Coors Light commercial. If you're vacationing on the sun like I am, I like a couple Coors Lights.
Yeah.
It almost,
Yeah,
I get
I
a sip before it evaporates. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Richard, do you feel like you're vacationing on the sun?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. See? Evenings at home when the AC and a couple beers feels pretty good.
Oh,
Yeah.
kids.
Best thing of the week.
I can't argue that. Joel, what do you got for us, brother?
Yeah, just back to the weekly update. Just had a good time with DP's bachelor party. Hang out, play cards.
Sound like it was a pretty good time. A little golf, a little cards, bachelor party. Outstanding.
Yeah, shoot 90 and taking Junior's money is that.
You can shoot 120 as long as you're taking Junior's money. Oh, Richard, what do you got for us, home skillet?
I want to thank Missy for coming on. It was I saw her briefly about a month and a half ago. Didn't get to talk to her long enough. I was doing my other job.
You did help me unload my horse out of the trailer, though. I thank you for that.
I got a kick out of it. Once those guys saw I was over there being a gentleman, they were on it.
Peer pressure is alive and well. Little did they know. Yeah.
That's funny. He's like, really? I'm going over here to terrorize Missy for a moment, but yeah.
Yeah. They're like, oh yeah.
But no, it's good to see you around occasionally in Lakeview, and honestly, I appreciate people that live in Klamath talking about it, because I say, for the grace of God, there goes us. I mean, we don't have any water going to the ocean, but if it's going to happen in Klamath, it's going to start happening in other places.
Just don't ever give up your water rights. I mean, there is no reason to ever do that. I mean, honestly, you just don't think things are going to happen to you, though, I guess.
Yeah, to see the Fort Klamath is a beautiful place in Oregon that I absolutely love.
Oh, it's a paradise.
Yeah, and to see it being just sort of drained of all its generations and years of what it took to build it is just super sad. I'm not trying to depress Misty, but it's important to keep talking about it, because
it is, because there are so many people that they go, oh yeah, they're having water issues, but they don't really know the whole depth of the situation. And then I think about all those yuppies that drive up to Crater Lake every day, and they're the ones that go through this area, and they want to go kayaking, or they want to go to the Indian casino and it's so pretty and all this stuff. It's not going to be pretty after. None of it's going to be pretty. They are destroying it, and it's going to take years for this land to grow back.
Light switch. You don't just turn it back on. It takes time.
Yeah.
And back in the 80s, Chiloquin and Fort Klamath had bars and restaurants and grocery stores and cattle everywhere as far as you could see, and everything was
and
healthy
sheep.
and happy. And sheep. But so
Montana ladies.
I don't see how things are getting better. I don't see
They're
how we're
getting so much worse.
Yeah.
We're not progressing. I mean, that's the thing. Like, even the whole, like, with the suckerfish deal and stuff, wanting to, save water for them. Well, they thrive better in lower levels of water than they do high levels of water. So that's where you know that it's not about the fish.
They live in Goose Lake, and Goose Lake is what, 10 feet deep at the max, maybe in a good year. So that's right. It's political, and it's going to have to crash before it can turn around.
It is absolutely, and it's getting close. Yeah.
Well, as far as good things of the week, just had a unfortunately, the internet wasn't good enough because we had a celebratory dance. The 3-year-old pooped in the toilet.
Ooh.
So, he,
finally in the toilet.
Came down and did about 14 laps around the house. Everybody's super excited.
He is your son.
The border collie even got in on the cheering. It was great. And then other thing is this podcast won't be out, but tomorrow I'll be on Carbon Panel with the vice president of the president of the Colorado Cattlemen's Association, and
ooh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we'll be talking about they'll be talking about one thing, I'll probably be talking about another thing, but it'll be fun.
Hope so.
But so I'm looking forward to that this tomorrow. That'll be a fun thing to do in the morning. And then I'm hoping for rain tomorrow. That would be the highlight of the week, is if we got a little bit of rain.
Superb.
For the next 4 days. So that's mine.
That's fair. That's good.
I just want to chime in one more time, just in case my phone dies. I really appreciate you guys asking me to come on here. I had a blast. It's really nice talking with everybody.
We're honored you got a chance to come on, and you're certainly welcome back anytime. It was just a kick in the ass, and good memories, good conversations, and good things to bring up for new.
Yeah.
Promised myself I wouldn't try.
Promises.
Yeah, I keep those. So my best thing, one, and no bullshit, having Missy on the podcast has been just an absolute hoot. 2, having some great meetings at work on an international ag symposium out of Brazil. And so it's great to see some of the ag and tech that's going on in that part of the world, and some great meetings coming out of that. So it's always inspirational for me a bit to see other countries that are trying to grow and move forward and using some of the technology that's around. So from a nerdy kind of standpoint, that's it. And then, obviously going to be working on my outdoor shower. That's the best thing for me. And headed to Texas on Friday for Robert Earl Keen concert.
For over the 4th of July weekend?
Yeah, you think
Badass.
Robert Earl Keen, 4th of July, Texas. I think, it's going to be pretty good. So I'm pretty
America.
America. They had the Jackalope Jamboree in Pendleton this weekend. I went to Shane
Shooter Jennings. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, Friday night, Shane Smith and the Saints.
Oh, good.
That's my favorite band.
Those guys rock. Yeah, they rock. They're solid. They're real solid.
Best show I've ever seen, maybe.
That's a statement. So
yeah.
That's gonna probably get us close to wrapping up for this time. Missy, again, thank you so much, Lady B, for being with us. We'll definitely have you back for sure. It's just been a hoot, and I hope you want to come back.
Loved it. I do.
I think it was you fit right in. People would think you've been doing this for years. Who knew you like to yap and have a good time and have a beer or two? I had no clue. I think you really broke out of your shell a little bit this week. I think that's good. I think it's
today's definitely been a defining moment.
We just watched the flower bloom right in front of us. It's been beautiful. So that's what Far Reaches does. We change lives. Yeah. So don't take all the credit, but we're going to take most of it. So that's all we can say. So
For your
Anyways,
information-
kids, yeah, remember next week we'll be doing Raising Arizona. If you haven't seen Man from Snowy River, check it out. And until then, keep on reaching.